3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, and the King of the North, Joe Habib. We have a great show for you today. If you want to call in and ask questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. And we'll be here until around 9 tonight. And today, we're going to talk about... What else are we going to talk about? Come on, let's get realistic, man. You know what we're going to talk about, man. So let's get started with it right now. On DAZN. On DAZN, people. This is insane. What I witnessed last night was insane. I mean, I've only witnessed one other upset like I witnessed last night. That was Tyson, Buster Douglas. That was the biggest upset. I mean, you could talk about... I didn't even think Rockman and Lewis was a bigger upset than this one. I thought this was definitely a bigger upset. Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. Joshua, heavy favorite. Every one of us on the panel picked him. In fact, I'll go so far to say only one person picked Ruiz that we know of in the chat. That was it. Everybody was riding with Joshua on this one. I think everybody wanted Ruiz to win, but they didn't think he was going to win. And that's the camp we kind of fell in. You know, we just kind of figured, well, you know, he's going to go in there. Maybe he gives him fits. Maybe he makes a fight of it, but he doesn't, you know. I was of the opinion that he makes a fight of it, but doesn't win rounds in the process, just is competitive, and then ultimately gets knocked out around rounds between the 6th and 8th rounds. Wow, was I wrong. Andy Ruiz came out, won the first 2 rounds on my card anyway. You can make a case that he won the second round. I still gave him the second round though. In the 3rd round, Joshua comes out. It looked like Joshua was doing better in the 2nd round. Ruiz came out and just pressured him with this jab, and that jab was not a normal, just a pawing type of jab. I mean, it was like a shotgun jab. I mean, every time he was doing it properly. He was stepping and he was spearing him. Right forward, right from the get-go, man. And the thing that got me is he was backing Joshua up. And everybody said that, you know, Ruiz has no punch. He doesn't have a punch. Well, listen, man, he's got something because he definitely got Joshua's attention. You don't just back somebody up like that if you have no pop, you know. So he ended up backing Joshua up with that jab. The 2nd round, Joshua got his bearings out. It looked like he did a little bit better at the end of the round. And in the 3rd round, Joshua came out firing. I believe it was right around the 2-minute mark. I think it was a little over 2 minutes left in the round. Joshua floored him with just a picture-perfect left
You mean
hand.
Ruiz?
What?
You
Robbie,
mean
stop.
Ruiz?
Let him flow.
Let me talk here.
Let him flow.
I watched the fight.
All right.
All right. Joshua floored him with a picture-perfect left hook, man. Ruiz goes down, and... you know, Ruiz looked, I mean, when he dropped, Beeb, you saw this. When he dropped, it was nuts because, I mean, it looked like he dropped like a ton of bricks.
He went down fast. He went down fast and hard.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it was he had a clear head because he had the presence of mind to brace his fall with his hands. So he knew what was going on.
You know what? And last night, I'm glad you said that. Because last night, he looked out to me, like when he hit the deck, because it looked like one of his like, and I only had the one view of his right arm, and it looked like his right arm was like pinned underneath him, like he just kind of lost control of his body. Yeah. But one of the people in the chat, and also, and you said today too, that it looked like now that I look back at it, he was bracing himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was trying to brace himself, brace his fall.
He got hit really flush with that left hook, and he took it very well.
That was very right well on the chin.
I was amazed at how well he took that, and then the right hand that followed up.
Yeah.
When he got up, got hit with 2 monster
right
shots, and he ate them like candy.
He popped right back up. I mean, that ref, I don't even think it was a 5 count. He was right back up. He took that shot really well, and when he got up, his eyes were clear, man. Yeah. His eyes were like crystal clear. You could tell he knew what was going on. Put his hands up. Referee let him fight. Joshua comes back with a big right hand, pops him again, and you say, uh-oh, you know. But the one thing I noticed, and Beeb, I know you noticed this too, when Joshua started swinging, it was almost like he was going a little bit crazy, letting the punches fly a little bit too much, and you could see both guys now winging punches, and that's always dangerous. That's always real dangerous, man, when you're winging shots like that. Absolutely. And sure enough, man, Ruiz clipped him just a few seconds later, right on the temple. He caught him with a left hook right on the top of the head, right on the temple. And you just saw Joshua short circuit, man. You saw his legs just short circuit. He wobbled around. Ruiz went over there and got him, hit him, put him down. And the two traded knockdowns in that round. And from that point on, Ruiz, at the end of the round, ended up knocking him down again. So Joshua was down twice in that round. It was amazing, man. I mean, if you guys have not gotten a chance to see the live feed that we did last night of the fight, go watch it, because it's the most hilarious thing you'll ever see in your life. Beeb and I just went absolutely nuts. And I told you, when we were doing the live feed, like, you're not going to get like Al Bernstein and, you know, I mean, the Showtime announcers are much better than we are. No question about it, you know. But when you watch it, it's good. Like I said, it's just two guys watching a fight. And that's what you got last night. My family was rewatching it today, just laughing and everything like that. Me and Beeb were watching it, just laughing. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. But back to the fight. Fourth round comes in. Joshua kind of recovers. I don't know. Did I give him? I can't remember if I gave him the fourth round or not, or the fifth round. I'm not 100% sure.
The only round I gave Joshua, I think, was the fifth. I think you ended up giving him the second and the fifth.
No, I only gave Joshua one round. I gave him the fourth round. So I thought Joshua did a good job, and I guess you could have made a case for the fifth, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I gave him the fifth.
Okay, so I gave him the fourth round. And so, you know, I thought he did a better job. I thought he was just a little bit more active. I thought Ruiz kind of took the round off. I think maybe Ruiz got a little tired. But Ruiz, to his credit, man, let me tell you what Ruiz was so calm in there. That was the thing that surprised me about him. He was just very, very calm. And he didn't get excited at any point. He didn't like overshoot or anything like that. He didn't go above himself to try to make sure he knocks him out in dramatic fashion or anything like that. He did a great job of staying calm in the pocket, man. And so the fourth round I kind of gave to Joshua. The fifth round, Beeb, you said you gave to Joshua. I thought Ruiz was just a little bit more active. I thought he came forward. I thought he landed some good shots. Joshua clipped him a couple times with that right hand. Big rights. I mean, big right hands. And Ruiz, to his credit, man, took him really well. But something funny happened through the fight, but more so in the latter rounds, like right around that fourth round and right around that fifth round, third, fourth, fifth, going in there. Ruiz started going to his body. He started going to Joshua's body a lot. And Joshua, you know, listen, man, Joshua's 240 pounds of solid muscle. So those muscles take up a lot of oxygen. You know, it's not really, you know, when you're that muscle bound, that's not great for cardio. And then getting hit on the body on top of that, that's even worse for cardio. So it's, you know, he was going to have an uphill climb here, man. Sixth round, it was all Ruiz. I mean, I thought Ruiz really battered him in that sixth round. And seventh round came out, and Ruiz clipped him again, put him down. I thought, you know, it could have been, I mean, it was a punch. I was, you know, from my angle, it could have been, it looked like it may have been a push, but I guess it was clearly a punch. Either way, referee starts counting. A few more seconds later, Joshua goes down again. I think that was toward the end, maybe toward the end of the round, maybe. I can't remember. But it was Joshua went down again. All right, and here's where the kind of I don't think there's any controversy, but some people were saying it was controversy. So Joshua goes down again. He gets back up and holds on to the rope. He went down in like the middle of the ring, spit his mouthpiece out, gets up, walks to the corner, puts his hands on the ropes, and the referee went to him and he said, "Are you okay?" Joshua nods his head yes, and but in the whole time he's got his hands like draped along the ropes. He doesn't make a motion to come out, doesn't put his hands up. Referee stops the fight. Yeah. Joshua protested a little bit, not too much, but Yeah, man, that was it. And John Ruiz is the brand new IBF, WBA,
Andy.
WBO champion of the world.
Andy
Ruiz.
It's hard. I know.
did this last night, and
Well-
I apologize for this, but I did this last night because I'm so used to John Ruiz, Andy Ruiz. I do apologize for that,
Well-
man, because he definitely deserves respect after that, man.
Well, John Ruiz is the only other champion of Hispanic descent.
He was
There's
Puerto
only two-
Rican, correct?
Yeah, Hispanic
Yes.
descent. And guess where he's from?
Puerto Rico, wasn't it?
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that. The Beeb. Marvin
Yeah.
Hagler, John Ruiz. There you go,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was good, man. I really enjoyed it. And you know what? I mean, listen, I'm a big Anthony Joshua fan. I really am. I'm a huge Anthony Joshua fan. But how could you help? How could you help but not be happy for Andy Ruiz last night? You know,
Well-
and I mean, me and Beeb were cheering for him, and they were saying it was biased
Yeah.
commentary and everything like that.
It was
But
biased.
It is what it is. It is what it
It
is.
is what it is. I was,
you know, They
Nothing
were watching
against
a fight,
Anthony.
man.
Yeah, nothing against Anthony Joshua. I was just happy for Ruiz.
Sure.
Anthony Joshua was set for the rest of his life money wise. He'll be fine. You know, Andy
And
Ruiz.
he got right around what, 7 million? You said.
Andy Ruiz got $7 million. Yeah,
Man.
that's good for him.
So that's awesome, man. So I was pretty happy. You know, like I said, man, I don't know how you can be anything but happy. And this is great for the heavyweight division. It really is. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, everybody lost money and blah, blah, blah. Listen, this is the best thing that could have happened to the heavyweight division because now we may have a unified champion. All right. We may now have a unified champion. Nelson Santos, thank you so much. Nelson asked, did he get hit in the temple or the ear? It was a temple shot.
I thought it was a temple shot.
Yeah, he got hit on that right temple. Ohio runs boxing in the chat. OH. Yeah. So, Beeb, what were your thoughts on this fight, man? I mean, this was exciting, and I really enjoyed doing that live cast with you, man. That was awesome.
Oh, I did too.
We have to do that again. Well, this is our second one we've done. The first one was a Deontay fight, and was nowhere near as exciting as this one for sure, man.
Well, something looks to be off. And again, we don't want to make excuses, but something did look to be off. But it could have been deeper than just last night because I'm going to say this. People are going to sit there and say how biased that I am and how anti-Joshua I am. And again, I've never been anti-fighter. I'm going to repeat it one more time, and I hate to just sound like a broken horse here, but I had a problem with Eddie Hearn and the way he dealt with these negotiations with Wilder. I thought he was being an impediment, and I thought he was being an obstacle in making the fight with Wilder because he said that he did things early on during the negotiations that he regretted, and he said things and he did things, and then he continued to do them a year later, and that's the only problem I had. So I'm not cheering. And I'm not, celebrating, I should say, cheering and celebrating Anthony Joshua's downfall whatsoever. Now, although I am happy for Ruiz, that doesn't mean that I'm cheering the downfall and I'm wishing bad on Anthony Joshua.
No,
because he'll probably bounce back, and he'll there's a good chance that he could be champion again. So I'm not going to dump on Anthony Joshua one at all. I am going to talk shit to the UK fans though, because they were living vicariously through AJ, and now what are they going to do now? What body are they going to friggin' use as a host now, where they could live vicariously through? And you better not jump on the Fury train because I drive that ship. I've been driving that ship since 2012. So nobody's fucking. I'm not letting anybody on that ship. That's my ship. Okay? I made a lot of money off of Tyson Fury. Okay? That's my man right there. But getting back to this fight here, it was obvious, for whatever reason, Anthony Joshua was trying to create space. He was throwing kind of a feeler jab out there, hoping to get Andy Ruiz to take the bait, so to speak. He was trying to throw a lazy, soft jab out there to try to get Ruiz to come forward and try to come over the top of it. And I think he was trying to set Andy Ruiz up for counters. I think he was really trying to land a counter right hand and basically hook off of the right hand. And you saw that he countered Ruiz. The first knockdown was a counter left hook after Ruiz threw a right hand, and as he was pulling the right hand back, he couldn't get it back in time to cover up the side of his face, and that's when Joshua shot the left hook over the top. So he was playing counterpunch role. Okay? But the thing that Andy Ruiz did was, once he got hit with that shot, he started moving his head. He started positioning his body in a way where Joshua really couldn't measure him with the punches. So he took some of the punching angles away from Joshua by the way he was kind of stepping off to the side, moving his head, throwing feints, and he kind of upped his game with his jab. And, Joshua could not time him anymore because Andy Ruiz was giving him different looks. Andy Ruiz kept giving him different looks, kept giving him feints, kept giving him head movement, kept, switching up the jab and switching up the placement of the jab. That's key right there because obviously he knew he wasn't going to be able to hit Joshua in the chin with the jab all the time. So what did he do? There were times when he jabbed to the chest, jabbed to the shoulder. Anything he could do to touch AJ to break the rhythm and prevent him from getting a gauge on his punches so he would not be able to counter. So it was kind of funny to me how AJ didn't step in with an authoritative jab and try to set up his offense and be more aggressive that way. But he felt as though he wanted to be the counterpuncher here. And that's a big mistake, trying to be the counterpuncher against a guy that you already know has very fast hands. But the one thing that he probably said to himself was the guy doesn't have fast feet. So while he's trying to position himself to come forward, I'll be able to counter because his feet won't catch up to his hands and he won't be able to put himself in position. This is just from my observation. But what he needed to do was he needed to be aggressive early. He needed to dictate this fight with his jab early on, which he never did. And that was the problem. Because that's the one mistake that he used, and that's one mistake Deontay Wilder doesn't use. Deontay Wilder uses that jab as an offensive weapon to blind you so he can shoot that straight right down the pike. Deontay Wilder's not a counterpuncher. AJ can counterpunch a little bit. But the thing is, you're in there with a smaller guy, you shouldn't be the one taking the backward step. You should be the one pushing the smaller guy back. So I think the game plan was maybe a little bit off, but unlike Ruiz, he couldn't switch it up and show a different look. And because of that, you had a guy who had more tools in the toolbox. He had more tricks up his sleeve, a guy who was more versatile in the skill department, and he was able to showcase that. One glaring thing that stood out to me was the power. I did not think Andrew Ruiz, a guy who had to reach up 6 inches to land his shots, would be able to get leverage enough to hurt Anthony Joshua. But I guess when you place those shots up in the top area of the head, neurologically the body just shuts down. So maybe the shots didn't have to be excessively hard. But those shots in the 7th round were pretty hard. They got leverage. You could definitely see that. And Joshua, who's already a guy who's not really defensively sound, has some defensive liabilities. Ruiz was just looping those shots. He was shooting them straight when he had to, punching, was going to the body when the body was there, forcing Joshua to bring his hands down, and then he was looping that right hand over the top, and on a couple of occasions he shot it straight. But the one weapon that was really indefensible for Anthony Joshua last night was Andy Ruiz's left hook. He couldn't get away from that left hook for whatever reason, and that was because the body shots were opening up that left hook. And that jab was opening up that left hook. So as the fight wore on, Andrew Ruiz started doing a little bit of counterpunching. He started slipping Joshua's right hand because Joshua was trying to load up with that right hand, and he would slip up underneath it and roll up underneath it to his left, and then that's when he started cranking up those left hooks. So he was defensively outstanding last night outside of that 3rd round where he got caught and he went down. But from there on out, he fought a flawless fight, I thought. And I only gave Anthony Joshua 1 round. A lot of people only gave Anthony Joshua 1 round. Some people gave him 2. I didn't think this fight was close. I really didn't.
No.
I really didn't. I didn't think this fight was close. I didn't think it was competitive in any way. And I don't know. Like, was this just Joshua not being Joshua, or was this just somebody who kind of studied the script and did their homework and actually knew the flaws and was able to capitalize on the flaws? Because I mentioned the flaws time and time again. As the more the guy fought, what did I say? I'm starting to see some defensive weaknesses from him.
Yeah.
I started saying that. And like last year, I had him beating Wilder. But as time wore on, I started seeing him just throw that lazy jab and time again in fights. And I seen guys come over the top of it. Klitschko came over the top of it, knocked him down. Povetkin came over the top of it last fight, hurt him badly, and almost stopped him. And he looked like he was in control of that fight up until the point he got stopped. I had him winning up on points before he stopped him. Even Joseph Parker in the second half of the fight started landing the overhand right. He just couldn't really sit down on it and get the leverage that he needed to actually get Joshua's attention. But he was countering over the top of that jab. So then I started saying to myself, Deontay Wilder only needs to land one punch to get the job done. And this guy's getting hit by everyone with the right hand. And again, like I said yesterday, everyone gets hit in boxing. But when you see a guy to continue to make the same mistake and because he's making that mistake, get hit with the same punch because he's making the same mistake, people are going to start watching that. Other fighters are going to start scouting that, and they're going to start picking up on that. And I'm going to say one thing. Just like Mike Tyson, once he lost to Buster Douglas, was never the same. This could be one of those fights. I know it's early, but this could be one of those fights where you just say, you know what? Now that era of invincibility is gone from Joshua, other guys are going to be more confident going into the fight with him. Other guys are going to start stepping to him. Other guys are going to start saying, you know what, I'm going to throw my right hand over that lazy jab too, and I'm going to make sure that I make it count and I throw it with authority. So the blueprint may be out there for other fighters to capitalize on, and I think Andy Ruiz kind of set that, but he also set that because he took data from Anthony Joshua's other fights, and he really studied Anthony Joshua. You could tell, again, not to keep repeating myself, he really did his homework in this fight. And it paid off. And the thing was, he went into this fight with no fear. It's one thing having a game plan. We all know what Mike Tyson says. Everyone's got a game plan to get punched in the face. Well, guess what? Andrew Reese got punched in the face. And guess what? That game plan stayed intact. So that's where the Teddy Atlas mental strength comes from. But again, all that mental strength in the world ain't shit without the skill. And we saw a beautiful display of skills last night from Andrew Ruiz. And no disrespect to Joshua, but he just did not have the same boxing IQ as Andy Ruiz. And that's why he got knocked out. And again, no disrespect. My heart goes out to him. Hopefully he bounces back from this. But, he made enough money. He's set for life. Yeah. Shout out to Corey Lee in the chat. Salute. Corey I called this fight on upset alert. Okay. I'm not even going to reply. I'm not even going to reply to that. On upset alert. Yeah, everyone has an upset alert this morning. Yeah, I called that fight last night. Thank you for the super chat, Corey Lee, and thank you for always supporting the channel.
I called it, hey, Beeb, I called that upset after the 7th round, remember?
Yeah.
All right. Robert, there's a lot of people on the phones, and we'll get to you guys in just a few minutes. We're not going to go through the whole thing. We're going to get to you guys early tonight. Robert.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what were your thoughts when you heard about this?
I was absolutely floored. I like Andy Ruiz a lot. I think he's a good fighter, but honestly, I thought he would give Joshua fits because he would present a style that Joshua hadn't seen before. It would be completely different than what he was preparing for with Jarrell or Big Baby Miller. So I figured Andy Ruiz for a few rounds would cause him issues and present things that he hadn't seen before, and that's why I thought it might have had the possibility of going the distance. But I never dreamed that he would walk in there and totally upset the apple cart big time. I mean, when I heard he got knocked out, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, seriously? It's like, it took me a while for it to sink in last night. I was like, are you serious? Because I can remember to this day staying up late watching Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson, and I had the same feeling last night. It's like, holy cow, what the hell just happened here? And good for him. And, I know there's an immediate rematch clause, or there's supposed to be. But you know what? I hope Andy Ruiz can ignore that and take other fights and maybe give Wilder a shot at the undisputed title, because, I mean, can we, from now on, are we going to be able to underestimate Andy Ruiz anymore? Because we all thought last week it would be competitive, it would be interesting, but Joshua would walk out of there with a win. So, is Andy Ruiz going to be one of these kind of people from now on, whenever he fights somebody? Are we going to say, well, he actually might have a shot at winning this thing? Because I never dreamed this would have happened last night. No possible way.
Shout out to Jamie White. Thank you so much in the chat. He said he's from the UK. Been following you guys since day one. Keep it up. And I had bet on Ruiz to stop AJ in round 7 and 9. So glad the hype train is over. All right. Everybody took Ruiz last night except us, Beeb. It was me, all of us, us three on the panel.
So
now, I wonder if that's post-fight saying, well, I took Ruiz, whether people are just saying that now, because I would have liked to have seen some of these people say that last Sunday.
So Robbie, I got to ask you a question. Before I ask you a question, I just want to address one statement that's being put out there. I don't think Anthony Joshua quit in this fight.
No,
so
absolutely not.
I think it's disrespectful to him, and I think it's just disrespectful all around to say that Anthony Joshua quit in this fight. And I'm not going to say he quit in this fight. Did his body language suggest that maybe he couldn't continue and all that? Yeah. But I got to ask Robbie a question. I mean, history was made last night, and that was probably the second biggest upset in heavyweight history. And we have who was the first champion of Mexican descent ever in the sport of boxing. Mark that down. Mark that down. June 1st, 2019. So this was a historic night. Now, are you disappointed or upset at all that you could not watch this fight live? This is now you can't. You don't have the ability to say to your kids or your grandkids one day that I saw the first Mexican heavyweight champion beat a guy when he was a 20-1 underdog. Now you don't have the ability to say that to your daughters, your grandchildren, whatever, because you were so stubborn that you didn't buy the zone. Do you have any remorse now that you did not purchase the zone? Do you have any remorse that your stubbornness made you miss out on history?
Sogo, thank you so much.
No,
Gave us $2 for Robbie's
you know what,
DAZN
Beeb?
fund. Time to level up.
Robbie, $2 for Robbie's DAZN fund. Time to level it up, Robbie.
No. You know what? No, I'm not disappointed. I look at it this way. If they want to take fights off of TV and put them on phone apps and make people pay for them that way, that's fine. I'm old-fashioned. That's always going to be my stance.
But could you argue that cable took them off of regular TV too? You pay for Showtime. That's regular. That's not regular TV.
No, I know.
Robbie, your remarks are contradictory, and I'll tell you why they're contradictory. Because you're paying for cable, you're paying for premium channels in your package, you're paying for pay-per-views, you're paying for pay-per-views. Now you're just too stubborn because you don't want to accept technology. That's what it is. Just come out and say it has nothing to do with the money. You can afford $8 a month, Robbie. You know you can afford $8.
No, it's gonna it's
you're stubborn.
No, I'm not.
You're stubborn. You don't want to adapt. You don't want to adapt to technology. Eric, did we watch the?
What's this?
Did we watch the fight on our TVs last night?
Yeah, I had it on my big TV.
So why can't you watch the fight on the TV after we explain to you how? That's stubbornness. You're just being stubborn.
Let me ask you this, Robert. Let me ask you this. If we were to get you a Chromecast and send it to you and show you how to set it up and everything like that, would you then watch it?
I don't know, because, like I said, I have I'm on a fixed income, so I budget my money every month.
Stop it! It's $8.
Here's
$8,
Boxing.
Robbie. Stop
Thank
it.
you so much, man. We appreciate it.
You can't tell me you're paying.
Look,
you're paying $80.
I don't want
Let
to
me
have
tell you
this
what the people are
argument,
saying,
guys.
Robert. Let me tell you what the people are saying. And this is why we're coming at you from a place of caring now. This is what the people are saying.
Thank you, Ohio Runs Boxing.
Yes, for sure. They're saying that, okay, and I thought about this too. Like, a pay-per-view is what, $80 now?
Yeah.
That's pay-per-view.
Sometimes
Not all these pay-per-views are definitely.
In some cases.
What's that?
In some cases, they are, yes.
In most cases, I mean, there's that's the average pay-per-view, $80. I don't think it's not more or less anymore. They're about $80. They're about 79 or 75.
Right.
Not all of them are worth watching. I mean, we all know this. I mean, Beeb and I are special cases. We're degenerates. We're junkies. We can't help ourselves, right, Beeb?
I can't help myself. No.
I can't help myself either. There's nothing I can do about it. I've got sickness.
Thank you for joining the club and giving me solace.
Yeah, I've got a sickness. Me and Beeb have both got the sickness. Okay, but if you were to just take one of those pay-per-views and put it toward this, that would be it. And you get more fights. What is it, 100 fights a year? They were saying last night. We'll get Triple G, Steve Rolls coming up next week. You had Joshua on there. I mean, it's like the World Boxing Super Series. Just as a fight fan, I mean, I think like something like this would really and you can watch the fights anytime you want. They're already like DVR'd for you, So that's where we're coming from at it, and that's what a lot of people in the chat and everything have brought up. Just like skip a pay-per-view and get it. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of people have brought up. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. I mean,
so what are you going to do now? Every time there's a big fight on DAZN, you're just going to sit there and not talk about it? And here's the thing. If pay-per-view raised their prices $9, would you pay? You would still buy the pay-per-view because pay-per-views are $80, right? But you paid $100 for Mayweather Pacquiao. So you were able to pay.
Yeah, I'm one of the 4.6 million that did that. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. So you were on a fixed income, and pay-per-views at the time were $70, but you were able to spend $30 more for Mayweather Pacquiao.
Well, that's because I knew about it in advance, Beeb.
And now instead of 2 pay-per-views a year, now we have because of PBC. Now we have like 5 or 6, and you've purchased every one of them. So
yep, and I will be purchasing Pacquiao Thurman.
So this isn't about money. This is not about money. This is about your stubbornness. Just admit that you're too stubborn to adapt to the new technology. Don't be honest about it.
No, I'm not too stubborn. I just don't believe in.
Let's all chip in and pay Robbie DAZN bill a month. Everybody in the chat is like, everybody in the chat saying the same thing.
They love you, man. They love you. We're all coming at this from a good place.
I just think you're doing yourself a disservice by not being able to watch these fights, because you're missing out on great. That was an awesome card last night.
From top to bottom, it really was.
And what are you going to do when more fighters start fighting on this app? You're going to be in trouble.
Well, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Well, the bridge is. You're almost to that bridge. You're almost to that bridge. So I think you're going to have to break down and just adapt to the technology.
Beeb, I don't think. Doesn't sound like there's any convincing him. Doesn't sound like there's any convincing him, and that's okay.
That was it. I mean, you missed out on history yesterday. You had a chance to watch history before your very eyes, and you missed out on it. And that doesn't bother you one bit.
Nope.
And you're a diehard boxing fan. You've been watching boxing since when? How many years have you been watching?
March 8th, 1971. Yep.
Okay.
Ali Frazier.
Okay. And that was when boxing was on regular TV. It wasn't even on cable. But you adapted.
Actually, that fight you had to go to the theater to watch.
But again, that was at a time when most boxing was on regular TV and it wasn't on cable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
cable didn't come around to the 80s.
So when cable came around in the 80s, did you say, "Oh, I'm not going to get cable now. I want to watch boxing on my regular channels now. I'm not going to buy cable."
Everybody.
So you adapted, right? You went with the times, right?
Yeah.
So that would be the same thing right now. You're going to have to go with the times. You have to break down and get this app. I'm telling you have to.
Nelson Santos in the chat
Well,
says,
I like the fact that there's. Never mind.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Robert. I didn't hear you. We're crossing over because you're on Blog Talk. That's all.
That's okay. I just the fact that there's 2 apps now that show fights, it just boggles my mind. When before these apps came along, all these fights would have been on our TV,
Not all of
and
them.
everybody could have
Not all of them.
watched it.
Not all of them. We wouldn't be getting all these Super Series fights. We would not.
No.
And these have been great fights.
These have been great for boxing because
there's
there's
no
more
way-
outlets now to
there's
put
no
boxing
way-
on.
Well, we would have got last night's fight, Beeb. You can't say we wouldn't have.
Well, you would have missed Chris Algieri versus Tommy Coyle, which was an outstanding fight.
Great fight. Boazzi looked great last
You would have
night.
missed Boazzi. You would have missed a lot of
The Taylor
excellent
fight
fights.
and the Kelly fight, those were both
So they're giving you how many fights did we get yesterday? Because we watch it on the Zone. How many? Was it like 7 fights we got?
maybe. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 7 or 8 because
we watched like 8 fights yesterday.
With that one guy. Yeah.
And pay-per-view only gives you 4, so you got double the fights for less money.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man.
There you go. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's see here.
He's a fucking mental case is what he is.
Jason.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Jason. How are you?
You guys lighting fireworks tonight? You guys lighting some fireworks tonight?
What
Sounds
the
like
heck
you
is
are.
that?
Celebration time, guys. Come on now.
Is that over your house?
What the hell are you doing, man?
That's another PBC star fucking, shaking up the fucking boxing world. I mean, do you guys realize this is the third Mexican that Al Heyman has rescued from Top Rank's fucking slave contracts? First was Mikey Garcia. Second was Jesse Vargas. Third was Andy Ruiz. 3 Mexicans that were sitting on Top Rank's shelf because of that scumbag Aram called them fucking all kinds of names. He called Andy Ruiz a waste. He called Mikey a dumbass. He said Mikey's a mutt. That's the guy. This is the guy. Al Heyman went to their rescue and took them out of those slave deals. He paid their ways out. And nobody ever talks about that. You know, all these fucking media members like, oh, Andy, he's such a big win. When he was fucking dying on that top-ranked shelf, none of these motherfuckers said one word. They didn't give a fuck about Andy. Now everybody's on Andy's nuts. Only person that cared about Andy and Mikey.
Robbie, let him
Only
burn.
person that cared about Andy and Mikey. Only person that cared about Andy and Mikey was Al Heyman. He's the one who was calling them behind Aram's back and telling them, don't worry, I got your back. Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry about this motherfucker, I got you. You know? Nobody talks about that shit. And did you guys see Anthony Joshua's dad almost got in Eddie's face? Like, he pointed his fingers at Eddie's face. He was pissed at him. You know? And Sam Watson was looking at him right in his, like, from the side eye, like he was Al's eyes in that ring. And you know what that is? I can guarantee you, AJ's dad told him, do not go to America. You don't need to go there. Only reason he came to America was because Eddie was feeling pressure from DAZN, because Matchroom USA has been a fucking disaster. They haven't had any big fights here besides Jacobs and Canelo. I mean, and that wasn't a Eddie promotion. That was Golden Boy promotion.
Didn't Joshua
when Jacobs fought fucking Selecki, he sold like 2,000.
No, but I think
Joshua did. But,
I honestly think there was pressure.
But Eric, who put that idea on AJ's head? That was Eddie put that idea there, right?
I agree with them.
Eddie brainwashed AJ. Eddie brainwashed AJ. AJ didn't need to come here. Andy would have gone to England happily.
No, but the zone was unhappy. The zone was unhappy with what Eddie Hearn was giving them for fights. And they wanted this fight in America. They did. That's why they paid. That's why they paid for it.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. I mean, look at the Matchroom USA schedule. It was horrible.
Yeah,
Matchroom USA didn't do shit for them.
Yeah.
You know. And
Well,
who do you? Go ahead.
Well, now that he lost, Jason, he'll go back to the UK and he won't come back here.
Yeah, but Andy would have gone to UK easily. Andy's not the type of guy that's going to be like, I'm not coming to the UK. He would have gone there. But only reason he came there because Andy wanted to flex his muscle and show, I'm the big man. Look at Eddie. He was wearing a fucking bow tie. I've never seen him wear a bow tie. He thought it was fucking the American Takeover. That motherfucker put on the bow tie. Like,
we're a tux. We're a fucking tuxedo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never done that before. I've never seen that. He didn't wear a fucking bow tie to the Vlad fight. He did that because he thought this was his coming out party in America, and look what happened. Remember his father Barry Hearn blocked the fucking James Toney versus Eubank fight for fucking 5 years. He did the same thing with Nigel Benn. These guys have a history of blocking the biggest fights that are possible. Eric never talks about that. Nobody mentions that shit. Do you guys even remember how many years he blocked fucking James Toney came on UK TV and exposed those fucking chumps on live TV? He said, these cowards are hiding behind Barry Hearn. They won't come fight me. Eubank and Nigel Benn sat there on national TV with their mouth shut. They didn't say one fucking word.
I remember
That's how these guys act, you know?
Yeah, I remember that interview.
And
I didn't bring it up because it was
fucking,
about 20 years ago.
AJ was sitting... Yeah, but that's the history right there. That's the history lesson. Why you should bring it up. I mean, it's in their blood to fucking milk their UK fighters, not bring them in tough fights. That's why they picked Miller and Ruiz. You know? I mean, I'm glad fucking Ortiz turned this shit down. I mean, Andy deserves it. I mean, this makes a bigger impact because all the fucking Mexicans are going to be talking about it. So I think Wilder needs to cancel fucking Ortiz and Fury right now, and Andy should drop all those fucking belts. He's already the champ. Let's make the WBC fight pay-per-view on Fox. That shit sells 800,000, 900,000 pay-per-views fucking easy. If Mikey Spence can sell 400,000, Wilder and Andy can sell 800,000, 900,000 easy. These guys can promote the hell out of that fight. You know, the heavyweights always make a bigger impact. That would be huge.
Let me ask you a question, because this is the problem. And again, like, they have the rematch clause. They're going to exercise it. But my question is, when they sit down with Eddie Hearn, I'm sure Al Heyman is going to have a change of tune on what he's willing, or he's going to advise Andy Ruiz to probably not go to the UK. He's probably going to say to Andy Ruiz, you know, you're the first Mexican heavyweight champion.
In LA, Staples Center.
Yeah, you're the first Mexican heavyweight champion. Yeah. Why are you going to go to the UK? You're the champion. Why should you go where he tells you to go? He's going to probably ask.
He has all,
he's going to probably ask
all the leverage. If they turn it down, AJ looks even worse, right? If they turn it down, AJ looks even worse. I mean, how are you going to say no?
But do you think Al Heyman's going to advise him to go to the UK for the rematch?
No.
Why would he?
He might, just because Andy's a nice guy. He's not like a diva. I think he might go.
Doesn't matter, though.
This is just me, like, you know.
But if you're Al Heyman,
I'm just saying he might go.
About money
if you're Al Heyman, would you advise him to go to the UK for the rematch?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't.
He's the
Hell
champion.
no.
I would throw that in the Staples Center.
British referees are horrible. He'd get fucking jobbed over there.
Shout out to Dwayne M.
Yeah, no.
You know,
shout out to Dwayne M in the chat. Says the Zone Chromecast Robbie Fun.
Listen up.
The Zone Chromecast.
Robbie's smart. He doesn't need the Zone. Robbie, just go on YouTube. The fight is on there.
I'm trying to read the super chat, asshole.
I'm going to mute you for a minute.
I'm trying to read the super chat.
Go ahead and read it. He can't shut up. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
The Zone /Chromecast for Robbie. Chromecast Robbie Fun. Come on, Robbie. You're a host on a boxing show, for Christ's sake. Skip 1 or 2 crappy pay-per-views a year to pay for it. Jesus, man. Shout out to Dwayne M.
Thank you so much, Dwayne M. All right, let's see.
Go ahead, Chase.
Hold on, let me bring him back on.
Robbie,
right,
have you seen the actual video of the fight yet, or no? Robbie, have you seen the fight yet?
No.
Or just heard it? It's on YouTube, dude. It's all over. Just search it.
I know. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, but people upload it like fucking instantly. As soon as the fucking bell rings, people upload it. You should just watch it. You don't need fucking the Zone. Like, you don't even need the radio. Just watch them on YouTube, man. Or VIP Box. The streams are fucking... Some people wrote on Twitter that my stream keeps freezing, but I got a free stream from VIP Box, and it's better than the Zone, the one I paid for. So, I mean, you know, why would I fucking pay for a stream when I could watch a free stream? Good. I don't get it. There's no logic in that. Good. And also, fucking Katie, that was a bad night, man. Fucking Josh Kelly got exposed by some fucking guy that couldn't even get on date on PBC. Like Ray Robinson got lost in the shuffle on PBC because that's so many fighters.
He lost that fight. Katie Taylor lost.
And all you guys get fucking mesmerized by Eddie. Oh my God, PBK is special. PBK is special, and everybody's like, oh, PBK is special because Eddie's saying he's special. What the fuck has that guy even done? Just beat from your fucking bums. like Tommy Coyle or some shit. I mean, I don't give a shit, man. And also, Dave Allen said something interesting. I think Eric mentioned it last week. Maybe AJ had some kind of a black eye. Remember? I don't know if Eric mentioned it or Beeb was.
I have mentioned
Dave
it.
Allen
I mentioned
I think Beeb did.
Yeah, Dave Allen said that AJ was fighting like he's been in a he's like a fighter who had been getting beaten up in sparring. And I thought about that black eye. You know, he didn't look like they're all there. Maybe he's just I don't know. Maybe he's just a little punch drunk. And as soon as that fucking shot landed on the side of the ear, he was fucking out of it. He was drunk all night. After that, he never recovered. And all those muscles you guys are talking about bringing up the left hand, it's hard to fucking pick up those fucking 20-pound arms, man. All that fucking oxygen that your brain needs is going to fucking all your big-ass muscles. Look at Wilder. He was fucking hurt way bad against Ortiz. He didn't go down. He would have if he was a fucking all stiff like AJ. He would have fucking felt like a fucking ton of bricks. That's what happened to AJ. And look at AJ trying to get up. That motherfucker looks like it's hard for him to even get up. He's like so huge. Look at his fucking legs. They're like fucking cinder blocks. You know, that's bad kind of physique. I don't know. Whoever his sports scientist is. He's got like a 30-man team. They're like doing everything on computers and shit. All that shit doesn't mean anything. He needs a new fucking coach. That fucking guy that Carl Frost is training. Carl Frost has some of the worst skills in boxing. He had hardened balls, but his skills are fucking like, I don't know, like from the fucking, I don't know, like low-level skills. He didn't have any head movement. He used to throw his fucking punches with his fucking head in somebody's chest and shit. Like, he needs a real trainer, like Jonathan Banks, somebody that's going to tell him how to move his head, try to be a fucking real boxer. He's never had that kind of coaching. These UK coaches, they've never trained any good fighters. How many trainers in the UK have actually trained some great fighters? Not many. Maybe like 2 or 3. And those guys aren't training anymore. You know? And Nick has finally tweeted about Andy Ruiz, and that fucking tweet has like 2,000 likes now. Everything on their page has like 100 likes, so I hope he gets that fucking endorsement. He deserves that shit.
He should.
What'd you guys think about it? What'd you guys think about Katie Taylor? I heard she fucking kicked that girl out of their hotel before the fight. She said that bitch has to leave the hotel, and Eddie said, "Oh, don't worry, we got her a nicer hotel." But that was fucking kind of bullshit, isn't it? Fighters stay at shared hotels all the time. And so people always talk about Katie's a nice person because she smiles and acts nice, but all these fighters are fucking divas. You know, she made her change the hotel. I'm glad she got her ass kicked.
Do you want to hear some quotes here?
Yeah.
AJ asked Rob McCracken after the 5th round. He said, "What round is it?"
Yeah.
And then he said, "Why am I feeling like this?" This was picked up by the microphone.
I thought
this isn't an audio.
He's so naive. He's so naive.
He said something to the effect of, "What?" I thought he asked what round it was because that's what.
He did. And then he asked him, "Why am I feeling like this?" He said, "Why am I feeling like this?" The mic picked it up.
Yeah, because he's getting hit.
Beeb, I think he should have done the training camp in UK. He shouldn't have done his training camp in Miami in some shitty ass gym they just made up for him. That fucking felt retarded to me. It was like a weird ass gym. They bought a fucking what do you call it? A commercial building and made a gym on the fly for AJ. That was stupid. He should have just trained in his regular gym. Come to fucking New York 2 weeks before. That's how you'd really do it. That's
you want to hear something else?
Anyways, too many distractions.
Jason, you want to hear something else? Callum Smith said,
Miami Heat, dude. You're coming from UK, and all that Miami weather probably drained your ass.
You want to hear something else, Jason?
Miami Heat.
Want to hear something else, Jason? Callum Smith walked up to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn said this in an interview. He walked up to Eddie Hearn and he said, "Anthony Joshua looks relieved. Looks relieved he's lost. Yeah. It's like he doesn't have the burden of being heavyweight champion anymore." And that's exactly what I said.
Let me tell you guys another thing. You guys were saying Hassan Nadam is a good fight. If they keep feeding this guy Callum fucking tomato cans like Hassan Nadam, if he ever faces Benavidez in a plant, he's gonna fucking get fucked up. I'm telling you. That guy is not what you guys think he is. He beat up a washed up fucking Groves. Badu Jack dropped like Groves like 3 times. He was beating the hell out of him. So Groves was nothing special. He needs to step up his competition too. If he keeps fighting guys like Nadam, and he's going to fight another tomato can next, and when he steps up, he's going to get fucked up, guaranteed. Just like Josh Kelly, just like AJ does. And
well, I have a feeling, Jason, he's eventually going to wind up in the ring with Canelo. I think that's exactly
not anymore, bro. That's his only fucking champ now. Who else does he have? Katie almost lost. Callum's probably the only one with a belt these days. Who else does he have that is a champ now?
Yeah, Mashal took a serious blow. Mashal took a serious blow yesterday.
Who else is their champ? Beeb. Who else is their champ besides Callum? I can't really think of it right now. Can
BBC runs boxing now. No question. BBC runs boxing.
Yep.
Did you see Mikey sitting front row with Eddie, like 2 seats down?
I did not see that. No.
I think he might be going to the zone. Maybe he doesn't want to get fucking ass kicked by Danny anymore. Who knows? You know, Gary was sitting with him front row. Mikey walked Andy out, and he was sitting 2 seats down from Eddie front row. So who
Gary
knows?
Russell was there too last night, or was that the last?
No, he was there with he was Haney fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Russell. You know, he was clout chasing with that. What's up, Al? That looked like a publicity stunt to me before he leaves PBC.
Garcia walked in the ring with Ortiz. Joe Lopez said that. He's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Mikey walked out, but then he sat like 2 seats down from Eddie. There was this supermodel sitting right next to Eddie. She's got this skin condition. You know, she like half her face is white, half is black. I forgot her name. Winnie Mouse or something. She's like a supermodel. Mikey was sitting right next to her.
Oh wow.
I don't know. Maybe Mikey was hanging out with a supermodel. Who knows? That'd be kind of nice. But what's the next big Canelo? What's the next big Canelo fight? What's the next big DAZN fight? Since you guys are. Why not, dude? I'd want to be with them supermodels. Props to Mikey, but I'm only with local models. But what do you guys think about DAZN's next big fight? What's the next big fight? Since you guys are all over fucking Robbie to buy it, this is the worst time to buy it. They have no big fight scheduled. Like, why would he buy it? That's a waste of money.
Triple
Is there
G's
any big
coming up
fights they have
next week.
scheduled?
Triple G's coming up next week. They got
Shut
the
up, dude. Shut up. Come on, shut up. I said big fights.
I think Canelo Golovkin happens in September, or I think it's gonna happen in September.
Canelo's fighting there in September.
Yeah, I know. It'll be in.
You guys want to watch that? You guys really want to watch that fight?
I think Canelo Golovkin happens in September. Eric doesn't like the fight, but I like it.
I mean, I'll watch it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's on his own. Why not?
Yeah, we'll watch it. But.
Yeah. All right, Jason. We got a ton of callers, so we're gonna.
And also, let me mention this. John Skipper did an interview with Tugan Cassius, and when he said Tugan asked him, "Can you shut the door down on pay-per-view?" He said, "I'm not going to shut the door down on anything." So just remember that, okay? There could be a pay-per-view on DAZN soon.
There you go.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right.
Good point.
Yeah, very good point. And
good call this week.
You're a business guy. Why would you shut the door on anything? Like he says, you know, he's right.
Exactly. Good call this week.
970. I believe this is Hand Wraps. Hand Wraps. Is this you?
Yes, it is.
Talk that shit, Hand Wraps.
Hear me? Hello?
Talk that shit. Talk that shit, Hand Wraps.
Hand Wraps. What's going on?
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, cool. Viva Mexico, puto! Yeah.
Yes.
Man, what a night, man. First of all, let me explain a little bit of my nightly events. It was a family coming over. Wasn't a big boxing match. Everybody's asking me, well, is there boxing on? Yeah, we got boxing on. Who's fighting? You know, big, strong black dude, pudgy little Mexican. Everybody's like, fuck, you know? And then we're watching the fight, and, you know, we're all depressed because we feel like that Pearson chick got robbed. And so everybody in the house is like, man, fucking boxing. You know, here we go again with this bullshit. So I promise you guys, I almost didn't even watch the fucking fight. I was like, man, it's just about to blow this fucker out. I was so mad. I almost pulled a Robbie and missed fucking history. But, no. What a fucking night, man. Holy shit. I don't know that my house has ever been that live, bro. Like, I mean, when Canelo beat Triple G, that was awesome. We all were happy as fuck. But last night, man, that was nostalgic, man. That was something else, man. That was beautiful. The reason why it was beautiful was because of the boxing. What physically happened in the ring was it was marvelous, man. It's something to be admired. You know, shout out to Ruiz. Nobody gave this man a chance. Multi-millionaire, setting his family straight for life. God dang, it feels so good to be Mexican and just be able to say, I was rooting for that guy because he's brown like me, and he makes brown guys like me feel extremely proud. You know, it's just beautiful, man. But yo, you know, I think AJ fought a good fight, man. But he had a tougher task than he planned for. Ruiz was really short. You know, he was reaching with that jab, and I saw him a couple of times pause and think about going to the body. I believe he threw like 2 body shots. And he changed his mind very quickly because that's a long reach, man. If you ever been in the boxing gym, and you know that if the guy is fucking short, man, you know, just forget about the body, man. We're focused on countering now, and I think that was a disadvantage to Joshua that nobody thought about, and I didn't even think about it till the second round into the fight. I'm like, Joshua Joshua's not able to go to the body this fight, so this is going to get real interesting, especially when Ruiz started going to the body. We were like, oh, man, this is getting good. So, hey, you guys seen the fight. I don't have to explain the fight. You guys all seen it. If there's something that I'm really, really upset about, it was the refereeing, man. Come on. The refereeing last night was absolute fucking garbage. It was worse than the commentating, and that was pure shit. So, listen, man, Katie was holding. She was hurt. She was hurt like a motherfucker. She was holding. Not one fucking warning. Not even one. Not even a, hey, stop holding. Nothing. AJ gets fucking dropped. I swear to God, I went back and watched. 2 fucking minutes went by where he didn't throw a single punch. He was just holding. And he didn't get a single fucking warning. Yo, man, I think me and my family members, we're all convinced that referees are paid. I mean, they have to be. Like, Ruiz threw one low shot, and he got a fucking warning for it. As a matter of fact, he got a warning for pushing Joshua down when he was fucking landing hammers on him. But Joshua was given extra time to recover. Because when he got dropped, the referee told him, you want to fight? He said, yes. He said, come to me. Now, call me crazy, but when a referee asks you to come and walk to him, and you don't do that, you don't want to fight. The referee noticed he's not walking to him, and then allowed the fight to continue. He tried his darnest on that 7th round. Joshua spit the mouthpiece out. He counts to fucking 9, gives this man another 10 seconds to recover. He's leaning on the rope. He still asks him if he wants to continue. This is just bullshit, man.
But he did
it's
say
just
yes,
absolute
but he did stop
bullshit.
the fight.
I was so livid.
He asked Joshua if he wanted to continue.
But
he said yes, but clearly didn't. He couldn't
right,
continue.
But just like in the previous round, when he asked him to come forward, or do you want to fight, and he didn't come forward. So he had no choice but to call that fight, man. Anybody who thinks that was an early stoppage is just a fucking retard that knows nothing about boxing.
I think that the ref gave him the benefit of the doubt because it was the heavyweight championship of the world. You got 3 belts on the line. I think he gave him the benefit. He gave him every option that he could, every opportunity that he could. I don't think he did it necessarily because he was being biased or anything like that. I thought he was trying to give him every possible opportunity because it's the biggest title in the world.
So when the man is nonstop holding, he's getting hit, and the referee asks him, because he was pushed down or whatever. I think that's part of the referee's decision there. But the man was obviously out on his legs. He falls down, gets up, and he tells the man, come to me, and he doesn't come. But he just allows the fight to continue. This was in the earlier knockdowns. I'm telling you, man, the referee was super fucking biased, man. There's no denying it. Go back and watch it. He was biased as a motherfucker, which is the part that makes it sad. But at the end of the day, the judges had fucking Joshua up. One of the judges did. I mean, I'm telling you, man, corruption. I hate to sound like Georgie Porgy on this call, but corruption was fucking reeking yesterday, man. I'm so glad Andy Ruiz took that from the judges' hands, man, because he would have got robbed. I think we all know
he would have.
That he
I think he would have too.
I think he would have
too.
After scoring all those knockdowns.
Bless that, man. He showed the true grit of a fighter, man. I wish when I used to box, I could say the same, because I got hit with a body shot, and I remember just giving up. This man was hit with a counter left. He, obviously he was conscious because he braced himself for the fall, but and he kept, eye contact the entire time on his way up with the referee, which is something that Joshua was not doing. Again, if you're not making eye contact, if you're not picking up your gloves, letting the ref know you want to continue, then you're done here, buddy. And he didn't do that on not one of his knockdowns. Not one of the knockdowns did you see Joshua turn around and look at the referee and say, yeah, I want to keep going. Not once, buddy. Not once on any of those knockdowns.
The first one was the only one I noticed where he did. He put his hands up and he was ready to go.
Yeah, because he kind of, you're right. My bad. He did kind of give a little smirk and he put his gloves up. You're correct on that. My apologies. But, I mean, the knockdowns after that, you could just read his body language. And my heart goes out to Ruiz because he got hit with a shot that I thought the fight was over. And oh man, he showed that grit, man. This guy showed a heart that I haven't seen in a long time. And anybody who says this isn't the upset in history, I don't mean to sound like biased. I'm 35 years old. I remember, Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. I was a young kid, but I remember them upsets. But if I'm correct, that wasn't in America. And that wasn't quite on the stage that it is today, man. Yeah, it was in Tokyo somewhere. So, if anybody thinks this isn't the greatest upset in boxing history, I think, I think they have the right to their own opinion, but I think that they're just being a little biased because they're probably Mike Tyson fans. But, yeah, man, it's a great night of boxing. Super pumped, man. I'm so excited. I haven't called you guys in a while because, Jason takes over a fucking hour-long phone call. I can't be on hold for that fucking long. And then I only get on and Beeb fucking runs over my phone call. So thank you, Beeb, for letting me burn today, baby.
Much respect to you, brother.
Appreciate that.
Much respect to you, brother.
Hey, I love you guys, man. I had to give a phone call today and just say, Viva Mexico, putos!
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
I'm so happy right now for the Mexican community.
All right, Hand Raps, we're going to get moving. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Good call, brother.
This is
call.
so great that,
nice to have him back, man. Nice to have him back.
Absolutely. All right, everybody watching right now, everybody in the chat, anybody, remember to hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button for us, and that helps us out. I mean, that's a nice thing, man. That's a nice thing you guys do for us, man. Hit the like button so that we're not that we get some likes here.
Man, hit that fucking like button.
There you go. Beeb.
Yes. What's up?
Did you have anything to piggyback off of?
No, I'm just happy, man. I'm just very happy. I've been happy. Like, I slept like a baby last night. I woke up. I felt good.
While you're reading that, let's go to Baltimore. 915. Is this Coach C?
No, that you're in Texas, Eric.
915.
So what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's happening, man?
D-Style Boxing, that's who that is.
D-Style.
What's going on? Isn't it just a great Sunday? Isn't it like
it's
nice
awesome
start to June? It's just a beautiful day. That's that U2 song. It's just a beautiful day.
Yep.
So something happened last night, didn't I heard. Oh man, well what a by the way, Katie Taylor got a gift decision in my opinion. All right. I think Pursuit won that fight. Just throwing that out there. And but I do want to just say, man, Andy Ruiz proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. I did not see him winning this fight. I'm not going to pretend like I saw him winning this fight because I didn't. And good for him, man. I know a lot of people see, you just look at a Joshua and you look at an Ortiz and, you got the Stephen A. Smiths out there throwing shots, like calling them butterbean and this, that, and the third. But let me tell you something, man. Boxing is not about how you look, it just isn't. It's about what you got on the inside. Like, that's not cliche. It's the truth. Your boxing IQ, the heart you got, okay, all that is more important, okay? And in Ruiz's case, the cojones, the balls, okay, that he displayed in that ring was just something to behold, man. And one guy wanted it, the other guy didn't want it that bad. And I got to agree with the previous caller. I really do. You do not get to walk away from the ref and lean on the ropes and then maybe the fight continues. There is no timeouts in boxing. There's no, let me go talk to my coach. Let me look at my corner. No. When you're done, you are done. Right? Like, I don't care how many belts are on the line. I don't care how significant the fight is. You don't get to walk away from the ref and lean on the ropes. That's what Joshua did, and that's why I believe he quit. He didn't want no more, right? He took a knee. He got back up. He walked to the ropes. He leaned on the ropes. And then he pretended for half a second that he didn't want the fight to stop, but they stopped it, right? But in my opinion, he did, in fact, quit.
No.
Is that too harsh?
Come on. You can't say that. You can't say that AJ quit that fight. Come on.
Well, in defense...
So what do you do then, Eric? What do you call it? What do you call getting beat
that's
down?
What I call it.
And when you get up and the ref says, come to me, well, what do you call it then? I call that quitting. That's what I call it.
No.
Oh, the chat agrees with you, D-Style. They're all agreeing with you.
He didn't want to continue, Eric. He did not want to continue. He was walking away. You don't have to say the words "I quit"
he was stunned
to show me that you
out
quit.
Of sorts. I mean, he looked out of sorts after that third round. The entire fight. He was asking.
Oh, but he had enough in him to act like he didn't want the fight to stop afterward.
He gets hit a couple of times, and then all of a sudden he's just supposed to react normally. He was out of it, son.
Well, let me tell you this. First of all, he was given too much time. He wasn't too out of it to know that he had to walk the ropes or hang on to the ropes, and then lean on the ropes, and then look at the ref.
Well, if you're dizzy, you know to hang on.
All I know is this: you don't have to say the words "I quit" to quit. All right?
No, I agree with that.
Like, if you walk away from the ref the way he did, I think, in my opinion, he quit. Like, I gotta call it like I see. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with quitting. I'm just saying he quit.
Nah, I disagree. Larry Merchant's in the chat saying that AJ had food poisoning. I don't know where he's getting that from. Larry Merchant, where are you getting that info from?
I went on the net. I couldn't find it.
Another thing I need to say.
Nobody's got it. Yeah, I think that's just an excuse, man.
Larry Merchant it's obviously a dude that just can't be himself, so he asked Larry Merchant on YouTube, so you can't take him too serious. But but I will say this, okay? All right? Although AJ, tabloid, fanboy channels that really have no identity anymore, all right, that are coming out now, I'm not going to mention any names. That's unfair to do on your channel, okay? But, as far as I saw some videos out there that's saying that the idiot in all this is not AJ, the guy that got exposed and undressed in the middle of the ring, okay? Not him. Not Eddie Hearn. It's Wilder's the idiot, because AJ got knocked out and stopped, in my opinion, quit, actually. But nonetheless, TKO, whatever you want to call it, right? Late TKO. But I don't know how anyone who can do acrobatics in their mind and find this to be a negative towards Wilder, I believe is reaching farther than Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four.
I love it.
Like, that's
I love
reaching.
it. I love it.
All right. So that's a comic book reference. Okay.
I love it.
Great stuff, man. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time, but I want to thank you for letting me come on here, vent my thoughts, and give my thoughts, and just tell Eric like it is, that AJ, quit. That's all.
D-Style, it's always a pleasure having you on here, man. You can call back anytime, of course, man. We love having you on. Go see D-Style's channel on YouTube. Go catch him on YouTube also. He's got a YouTube channel. He does a very good job on that.
Guys,
yes.
I want you guys to donate to the Mixer Fund, because Eric is going to be getting a brand new mixer, and it's really expensive. So any help you can give us in the Super Chats would be much appreciated. The sound quality was going to improve immensely. It should help us get the Skype up and running. We're going to get a brand new mixer, Ringside Reporter. So any help you can give us, contribute in the Super Chats, we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
And that's really important too, is that anything that we get in the Super Chat goes right back into the show. It doesn't go in our pockets at all. It goes right back into the show in some shape or fashion. We've got a lot of new ideas for the show too coming up. Beeb and I will talk more about that at a later date, but we got more stuff for the show coming up, that kind of thing. And just like I said, man, everything goes back into the show to help it be a better product, and we want to make a better product for you guys. So
Lipson, Blog Talk, Skype.
a lot of stuff, yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Lot
It
of
adds
stuff.
up. It adds up.
Yeah,
It adds up.
absolutely. Let's see here. 443. Robert, where is 443?
Baltimore.
Now that would be Coach C.
Jolo, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Joel.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
that so much, brother.
Beeb's favorite caller, Coach
Is that
C.
Coach C?
Yo, what's going on?
What's happening, man?
What's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Good, man.
We're
Good.
Doing great, Coach C.
What a
Doing
fight.
good?
Listen to Beeb.
Yeah, he tried to shut the phone lines down, but I told him. I told him not to this time.
Tried to shut the phone lines down.
I told him,
Hey,
I told him he can't shut the phone lines down on this show.
You know what? Hey, you know what, man? Let's you know what? Let's let bygones be bygones, man.
There you
Because
go.
you know, we've been doing all this arguing and all A side this and 40-30 and 20% this and blah blah blah.
Well, guess
Just
what?
to
That's
go
out the
watch
window
this
now.
guy. Just to
Please,
watch this
Robbie.
guy come to America and take a guy on 5 weeks' notice and get the brakes beaten off of him. You know? So we're just going to talk about what's going on in the future, because past is just going to be a negative conversation. And there's no need. Like, I didn't even go into the chat because this is like, for what? You know what I mean? Like, he got beat up and he needs to sit down somewhere. I hope he doesn't rematch him. Because, you know, I picked Joshua to win, and I think he's legitimately a good fighter. He's got to figure out that stamina issue he's got.
Yeah.
And he came in like he got beat up in training camp, man. His chin seemed like extra snug to me. Like, you know, I don't think he really caught anything I would call vicious to just say, wow, like he got, you know, it wasn't like a flash knockdown situation. His chin isn't what it needs to be in these fights he's going to be in. You know, he can't fight Ortiz or Wilder. They'll hurt him bad.
What
Like,
I'm
I see why
wondering,
they
did,
didn't make the
did
fight
Anthony Joshua take Andy Ruiz lightly because he was a substitute and didn't prepare for him?
Please, Robbie.
Well, I mean, he was already in the midst of preparing. I just think honestly, you know, like, you know, he got found out a little bit, man. Like, he made basic, like, look, when you're getting hit while you're throwing punches, that's rookie stuff. He's not supposed to be getting hit by those shots at this level. He's a unified heavyweight champ. He's not supposed to be throwing a hook and get caught with a hook. Like, that's not supposed to happen to him. He's not
Right.
where he's supposed to be at this point. He fought Charles Martin, who's a scrub. He fought Vladimir Klitschko off of 2 years off and a loss, and almost lost the fight. And then he fought Joseph Parker in what could best be described as a high school play with the referee not letting him really fight. So, you know, you come in to fight this guy in America. You know, he's got nothing to lose. He's swinging for the fences. Tough dude, Mexican kid, been fighting since he was 7. You know, he was up against, he just not good enough. You think Wilder loses to Ruiz? Like, no, man. Like AJ came over here and, you know, and hey, look, I picked him to win the fight. So what does that say about what I see? But I mean, God, he got beaten up. This isn't like when Rottman caught Lewis or when Corey Sanders caught Vladimir Klitschko. You know, he got the shit beat out of him, though. And he quit. He didn't want no more problems. He doesn't want a rematch. He doesn't want to rematch Ruiz. Ruiz is going to fight Wilder September 15th weekend. Watch.
Coach
That's
C,
the
you
biggest
said-
fight in boxing now.
Let me interject here real quick. You said last night in the chat something really, really good, and I'm going to paraphrase it here. It was something to the effect of, if he does rematch, he said I don't think he's going to rematch. He shouldn't rematch him because he was beat down from start to finish, basically. And you were 100% right. And it's not like you said, like Corey Sanders, Klitschko. You gave that example. It wasn't like a quick. It wasn't like a quick KO where he just got caught, or Lewis Rottman. This was a systematic beatdown from round 1. Your only highlight was in round 3 when you clipped him, and then 30 seconds later you were down. You know, this was a one-sided beatdown.
Yeah.
I think it would be a mistake if Anthony Joshua fought this guy again. You know what I mean? Right now, right off the jump, without actually taking another tune-up fight first or anything.
I almost would venture to say, honestly, the way he looked after the fight, with that look of relief he had on his face,
Yes.
he
What was
probably
with
needs to just
that?
go ahead and just fold it up for 2020, man. He needs to just go ahead and sit down somewhere. And I mean, I'm not saying this because, I'm a Wilder fan, so, I'm not saying this because I'm a Wilder fan. I'm just saying, like, look, man, like, you just had a lot. You just lost the Unified Heavyweight Championship in your U.S. debut. And, I mean, the memes are ugly right now. You got beat. I think you need to fall off the scene, get off the papers, man, get off the front page, and just let it play out. You need a new strength coach. You need a new trainer. That trainer, his head movement is just non-existent. And I mean, you got caught by Ruiz. So, I mean, Luis Ortiz or Wilder, they would decapitate you, bro. Like you can't fight those guys right now, bro. Like I'd rather see him fight those guys later. He's not ready for those fights legitimately. No BS, no jokes. Like, not even trying to be funny. He fights Wilder Ortiz. They might have to cart him out like Arthur Spilker, bro. His head movement is worse than it's worse than we thought. Because I mean, at least he's fighting those guys in Europe, and those guys aren't very good. Whatever. But I mean, you get caught upside your temple by Andy Ruiz. You do not need to get into a ring with Luis Ortiz or Deontay Wilder. That's not. You need to stay away, and he needs to fall back. Because if he immediately rematches Andy Ruiz Jr., it's going to be quicker and worse. So, Ruiz Wilder, 2014. I mean, September 14th or the 15th that weekend. I'm telling you, it's just that way. And I mean, Eddie Hearn, just shows like just not just a decision making. I mean, all that Mackie was talking. I mean, it's just should have took the $50 million last year, man. Like he'll never make that again. I'll tell you that. So chances aren't he won't. So he'd have done better get knocked out by Wilder than Andy Ruiz Jr. last night, So, but it is what it is, man. They didn't want the fight. They didn't take the fight. See why they didn't take the fight. See why they didn't fight Luis Ortiz that whole time. So, I mean, it is what it is, Definitely. He needs to fall back. Fury, go ahead and fight the guy he's fighting. Wilder, go ahead and pay Ortiz that fat step-aside check, like $4.5 million probably will do it. And then just boom. Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder, Showtime pay-per-view, September 15th, Mexican holiday. Get the bag.
That's a big fight.
Robin season. Get this money.
That's a big
get some money, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like get the money. Like Ortiz. Like, honestly, I don't think Ortiz would beef at all. Hell, he's getting the rematch. That's a fight that Wilder did not need to take. So he's like, all right, I get the winner. I'm good. And you get 4.5 to watch it in the stands. Shoot. Go ahead. We'll get 4.5 million. Just go ahead and let him do it. Yeah. I think Ortiz probably be with that. You know what I'm saying? That's probably a pretty decent idea. Me coming up with the 4.5 million is pretty good negotiating by me. Like, he should throw me like 30,000. I'm saying, hey man, but what do you guys think, man? I mean, it kind of changes the landscape of the heavyweight division, but it doesn't make it less entertaining.
I think it makes it more entertaining. I think it makes it more entertaining because now you got guys that'll fight people now. I mean, those belts aren't being held hostage. You got a guy now who broke out, and now everybody's going to fight somebody. Now the belts are kind of free game. Now we got a new guy on here, do things his way.
Eddie Hearn is out of the mix. Yeah, Eddie Hearn is out of the mix, so it's looking promising.
Yeah, for
sure. I think somebody mentioned it earlier about the Hearns, man. They've been blocking fights for decades, man. They milked them UK fighters, man. But they just ran out of cherries, man. They was trying to man, even Big Baby Miller not on steroids. Big Baby Miller might have did, I don't know, his punching power. But yeah, I'm telling you, AJ's chin. But shout out to the AJ protectors out there, though, real quick before I get off the line. Shout out to the AJ protectors, though. I don't know what y'all going to do now moving forward because, you looked absolutely silly talking about your boy getting in the ring with a killer like Wilder and, got beat by, the star quarterback on the JV team, my boy Andy Ruiz. But, there's levels of this here boxing game. both in the ring and with fans in the house space. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you guys couldn't tell that a 6'6" robot with no head movement was eventually going to get knocked out just really kind of puts in perspective the fact that y'all don't know boxing. So I suggest some of y'all use YouTube instead of sitting on here arguing with people. Go watch some old fights and learn about the sport. You know, I'm an older guy. You know, Beeb. Eric, we're older, 30s and up. So, you know, seen our fair share of boxing. But, you know, you got to learn what you're looking at. You know, before you can actually make an educated decision. So, you know, some of you UK chaps and chaps from, you know, the motherland, Africa. You know, just don't just argue. Look to learn and look to learn about the sport. It's a great sport. It's not just about AJ and his muscles and his big legs. It's also about heart. You know, biggest muscle, the strongest muscle, beats in your chest, and yeah, that's what it's about. So hopefully your man AJ can go soak his head someplace and go to Oz and get a heart because he doesn't have one. You know. And y'all have a good night. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate y'all, fellas. Y'all have a good
Coach
Sunday,
C.
man.
Glad you went easy on him. I'm glad you went easy on him. He had to throw you the olive branch tonight, man. He couldn't deal with you.
Well, you know, he does bring up a good point. Deontay Wilder absolutely looks stupid now for signing not one but two contracts for two upcoming fights. He should have waited until after last night because, you know, you're going to have to, if you want the unified heavyweight championship, you're going to have to pay Ortiz money to step aside so you can make that fight.
He's not going to pay Ortiz
instead of locking your...
He ain't paying.
Well,
but Robbie, let's be fair. Let's be fair here. There's no way anyone could have envisioned this happening last night. There's no way.
No, of course not. But don't you wait until after the fight is over with anyway? But
to your credit, it was mentioned by other people that he should have waited because at least he could have even negotiated with Joshua if Joshua was to win too.
Right.
So
that made no sense. It made zero sense.
So that's, you know, there is some validity to your comments.
But
well, see, that's my point because he not only signed one fight, but he signed two fights.
Yeah.
Why lock yourself up? You should have waited until after last night was over with before you made any deal official.
He's got to feel like a donkey right now. So if Ruiz, let's talk about real quick before we go back to the phones here. It'll just take a few minutes. So if Ruiz, all right, if he goes in and says, you know, screw it, I'm not taking the rematch. He will take a couple. He may take one or two belts with him, but I guarantee he probably won't take them all. You know what I mean? It may splinter the division or whatever, but yeah, he does not, you know, there's a rematch clause, and Eddie Hearn has said last night right away, said the rematch is going to be in England around November or December. Hey, listen, man,
right.
I'm not 100% sure of that. You know, I understand you got a rematch clause, but we've seen it, Beeb, we've seen it before. Those rematch clauses don't mean much. They don't mean much.
Right.
Man.
Well, I will go back to one incident when Rockman did beat Lennox Lewis, and then he signed with Don King. There was an incident where they actually took it to federal court, and this doesn't happen very often, but it did happen one time, and the federal court ruled in favor of Lennox Lewis, and they
remember that.
And they did say that if Rockman did not give him the rematch, then he would have to be shelved for 18 months. But I ever since then, I've never seen an incident happen where violating a rematch clause went to that level. So it did happen, but it is a rarity. The problem is, just because you have a rematch clause, you still have to negotiate the fight. And I will repeat this one more time. Al Heyman and Eddie Hearn, there's bad blood there. There's definitely bad blood there. They're rival. They're rival competitors. Okay, and they don't really get along well. So now Al Heyman has every single heavyweight title belt in his stable. Do you think he's just gonna, when he sits down with Ruiz and they talk about the rematch, you think he's just gonna say to Ruiz, "Oh yeah, do whatever Eddie says"? No, he's gonna be like, Eddie wants this fight in the UK. Really? you just became the first Mexican heavyweight champion in history, and you're going to be told that you're going to defend your title over in the UK when you can go defend it in California or Vegas, where all your Mexican brethren are going to show up to watch you fight. And he's going to be like, Eddie's going to be like, oh, well, this is what your percentage is going to be for the rematch. You think Al Heyman's going to be like, oh, so you're going to accept the same money that you got, or just a marginally larger person you got than the first fight in the rematch? So I just don't think these negotiations are going to be going smooth. And even Eddie Hearn said, when he was being asked about, so is the rematch all set for UK? He said, I don't know. We still have to talk about it. So he knows he's got to talk to the other side. So he knows it's not going to be easy. I just don't think Al Heyman is going to roll over here and advise Ruiz to just do whatever Eddie Hearn says.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
Now, I realize, Beeb, that a Joshua fight would make Ruiz lots of money because he's got the leverage now. He's got 3 belts. But wouldn't it make more sense to negotiate something with Wilder so you could have a fight for all the belts and then go back and deal with Joshua at a later date?
Listen, the whole situation with Fury, they probably have a signed agreement that they're going to meet, but does it have a date and a venue attached to it? So if it's an ambiguous contract, then I'm very, very sure that there's ways to get out of that Fury fight. Now,
yes, yeah, for sure.
I
would think so.
The Ortiz fight is probably locked and loaded, but I think the Fury fight is probably a deal in principle.
Yeah,
I think the Fury fight can be avoided. So you may be able to see this fight in the first half with Ruiz and Wilder the first half of next year. I have a feeling the Joshua rematch is not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will say I was wrong. But I don't think Ruiz and Joshua 2 is going to happen. Not next. I just don't see it.
But Beeb, I don't see Ruiz staying out of the ring for the rest of the year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe he fights Adam Kornacki next. That would be a good fight for him for his first defense. No. And then Wilder fights Ortiz, and then they end up fighting in the first half of next year, maybe February or March.
If we're really thinking outside
Makes
the box
sense to me.
here, what about Tyson Fury? Like I said, in a fan's perspective, Ruiz versus Fury in September. The winner of that one is fighting Wilder next.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. Anthony Joshua.
They want to keep it under. My guess is they obviously want to keep it under that PBC umbrella.
I was watching a lot of interviews with Anthony Joshua. Exactly. I was watching a lot of interviews with Anthony Joshua this morning, and he didn't seem hell bent on getting a rematch. Like when a guy loses, you a lot of times say, "Oh, I want an immediate rematch. I want to get my titles back." He didn't even really care about whether if he got a rematch or not. Like he's just seemed like he didn't want to be champion anymore. I think it was giddy.
I think somebody had said the word giddy, that he seemed giddy after the fight, and they're right. I've never seen somebody so happy.
He seemed happy that he didn't have to carry the burden of being the heavyweight champion anymore.
Yeah,
he was just
it's
too happy.
Pressure. A lot of pressure, man.
And I'm gonna say something, and maybe I'm reaching here, but let me ask you a question. Him letting Ruiz hold those belts during that press conference.
Yeah, man.
Did that really mean more than we thought it did? Was that maybe a symbolic gesture to say, here, you carry the burden now. I don't want it. Right?
Yeah.
Think about it.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but
who in the hell? Like, why Wilder says you have to kill me to get my belt. There's no way Wilder's going to hand his belt to somebody else.
You don't let somebody else touch the belts. You don't let somebody else hang on to the belts, hold the belts, wear the belts, nothing. Those are yours.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like you're giving those belts and letting someone hold them, basically saying that, these don't mean anything to me anymore. I don't want these anymore. You can hold them.
Right.
And then he says, "Oh, we'll throw the belts up in the air. I'm not heavy." They said, "I'm not champion come Saturday because my belt's on the line. I just throw the belts up in the air, and whoever wins gets the belts." He was saying a lot of things to suggest that he did not want to be heavyweight champion anymore.
Odd behavior, I thought.
Very odd behavior.
Into it, and
I've never, and everyone picked up on this. No one is that happy after a loss. Nobody, unless they wanted to lose.
Right.
You know, it's like
Eric,
if you have a real stressful job, right? You have a real stressful job, and things aren't going good. And then you get fired. You're like, oh, great! Now I can go home and fucking just collect for 6 months. I wanted out of that job anyways. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling. I've had people say that to me. Like when I was a food service manager, I had to let people go that weren't working out for me. And I said, hey, I'm gonna have to let you go. I'm sorry, but you can still collect. Blah 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 blah. They said, oh, thank you. Now I can go home and sit back and relax for 6 months and just clear my head. That was basically the vibe I got from Anthony Joshua last night. He can go home and relax now. What is that now? What is that?
Antonio apparently won this at the carnival today.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that was Lois. I thought you were going to say that was Lois.
You're gonna. This is the new Lois here.
No.
Now, Eric, you were saying that Ruiz could possibly lose belts. Why would that be?
Say this again. I'm sorry.
You said something about Ruiz possibly giving up belts or losing belts. Why would that be?
Well,
because of mandatory
it just depends on
defenses,
what's in those contracts. It just depends on what's in that rematch clause. If he decides not to, well, remember, look at the best example I can give is Fury and Klitschko. When they fought, they had an immediate rematch clause, and the IBF says, well, I know what you have, and I know what you have in contract, but listen, this is your mandatory. And if you don't fight him, we're going to strip you. And so he lost the belt without even throwing a punch, So that's kind of what we're alluding to here.
Well, and we do have a scenario like that because I believe it is the IBF's turn, or is it the WBO's turn? I can't remember which, but it's
the WBO's turn.
It's Pulev. Pulev is the mandatory.
Pulev's terrible. My God, I would go ahead and take that fight. That's a no-brainer. He's over there trying to kiss on chicks and everything like that, like would-be reporters and everything. So let's put him down next. I don't know.
So he's the most immediate mandatory I can think of that Ruiz might have to deal with. And
right, guys,
Pulev is, I believe, with Top Rank, right?
Yeah, we have a ton of calls. Listen up. We have a ton of calls. Just kind of get to your point and stuff because we're running out of time here. But 612, you're live.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jay calling from Minnesota.
Jay, how
what's
are
up,
you, man?
Jay?
How you doing, Jay?
Oh, I'm doing good. And you often see me on the chat as Jerome King, too, just so you know that.
Oh,
yes.
But
nice to hear from you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for calling in.
Oh yeah, no problem. But man, oh man, this is why I love this sport. I mean, I was up all night watching that at least 3 or 4 times, because I could not believe what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the second biggest upset in heavyweight history. I mean, you could even go back to Tyson Douglas, or like you guys are pointing out, Rockman versus Lewis, because that was just so quick, no one expected that. But I mean, this is definitely the second biggest, following Tyson. And I said, and when I first heard of this fight, I had a lot of mixed feelings about it. And at first I said, well, maybe Joshua, uses his distance, or he uses his reach against them to keep him on the outside. That's what my initial thought process was. But then I had to really think about it, and I said, Joshua tends to have a lazy jab. He doesn't use his jab as a barometer to gauge distance. He doesn't do that. And I felt like if he would have came in and hooked with a guy like Andy Ruiz, who has the shorter reach and has a bit of pop and has great counter-punching skills, if I may add, he could present problems for him. And that's exactly what happened here. I mean, this is definitely a matter of, Andy Ruiz showing the amount of skill that he possessed that no one thought he had just because they looked at his body or looked at his body type. Oh, he doesn't have those types of skills. He'll just run over. But that's another reason why I love this sport, because no matter how you look, that means nothing when you get in that ring. It's all about the size of the fight and the dog. You can't say that about any other sport, whether it be football, basketball. It's a team effort. It's all about that one person in that ring and what they're willing to endure and what they're willing to give back to that person to win. And this is the reason why I love this sport, and it's always been my favorite sport. But what do I think as far as the rematch? Right now, Ruiz has the advantage right now. He has better ground to stand on as far as the negotiations is concerned, because this was supposed to be Joshua's coming out party, and he was supposed to just, show he was the biggest guy, and he was the unified champ, and that he was supposed to be to take it over the United States. And instead, what happened is he ends up getting beat. Now, what Anthony Joshua does from here, I don't know, because this is his first loss. I would love to see him come back and be even better champion than what he was and learn from his mistakes. That would make the fight, if you ask me, with Deontay Wilder or even Fury, even bigger if he comes back and wins in great fashion, or even wins the titles back somehow, some way in a great fashion. But nonetheless, this is why I love this sport, and I appreciate you guys for the live play-by-play that you did, and thank you guys for everything that you do, and everybody having a different point of view on the sport. I love that, and that's my call.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
man.
you.
We appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Great call, man. Great call. All right, let's go to Detroit. Robert, 313, yeah? Detroit?
That's right, yep.
Robert knows every zip code. Robert is a savant. He knows everything.
Yeah, area
Detroit,
code, yep.
You're live, 313.
What's going on? This your boy Low. I'm just calling in. That was a big surprise yesterday. But it's all congratulations. It's all congratulations to Ruiz. He to me he just was to me more, he was better skilled. He was more skilled. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell his amateur pedigree. Like I said, I didn't even understand what Joshua was doing. It's like he should have, fought that fight like how Lennox Lewis fought David too. It was like he should have fought tall, long, 1, 2, 3. He went inside and was trying to hook and uppercut and fight an inside fight. And it really didn't make any sense because, Ruiz had the faster hand. And like I just, like I said, me myself, I'm 6'6", and I boxed at 175. So like I worked with Jordan Schimmel, Rico Flores, Tony Harris, all them people that was in Detroit and in Michigan at one time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them was faster hand and feet. And it was like the mistakes he was making. It's like, to me, I think if he would have had maybe like a longer amateur pedigree or something like that, he would have seen that style. He would have recognized what to do and what not to do. Because, I mean, the mistakes, even when he kept hooking with him, and I'm like, why is he going there hooking with a person? I mean, he was literally making himself 6'1". He was making himself shorter than Ruiz. And like I said, the congratulations, like the Ruiz because he had fast hands, and he out jabbed Joshua. He used the educated left hand. He jabbed him to the body real well. I mean, he gave him different looks. You know what I'm saying? He just, like I say, he just was more experienced. Like his experience showed more than Joshua's. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joshua had all the athletic advantages except hand speed, but he had the height and the reach, but he didn't use any of that. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like when he was getting caught, when he went and he was hooking with him, he really turned himself when he knocked him down. He tried to go in for the kill, but when he went to turn in, he missed the right hook up close, and he went to turn into the left hook. He really turned his momentum into Ruiz, making it a harder punch. So it's like he really going to have to go back to the drawing board. I mean, I think this is going to see what type of heart he has, because I think sometimes when you push a fighter into not having the arrogance about themselves, we want you to have this clean-cut, nice guy image. In the fight game, like it being so mental, you got to be arrogant. You know, you got to be mean and arrogant about yourself. You know, it's like I said, it's so mental going into that ring. You know what I mean? And he gonna have to really go back and make some changes. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it didn't expose anything, because you can't erase all his other victories. But it showed that his game is incomplete, because he did an interview on it was titled like "Let's Not Rob the Fans." And he said I really prefer to fight a taller fighter, you know, because like I said, it's more space. I have trouble with the short, compact style fighter. He said that in the interview before the fight. So he needs to, like I said, go back to the gym and deal with that style. Even when he fought Tackle, he was able to come forward, you know, with the jab and stuff like that, come forward and stuff like that. I mean, he just didn't look right at all. I mean, he looked flat, and there's nothing about him look good. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to go back and fight, like a longer fight. You know, like a long, a tall, long fight. Snap the jab, side to side movement. Take some of that bulk off, and hopefully he can do it. Because I want to see the Wilder, Josh. I still want to see them fights. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he can fight his way back. We can get the fight. To me, like I said, it's a he's always been accepted for a catch and shoot, or a short. The longer fighter is always able to acceptable to that type of style. So that's all I wanted to add to the conversation.
Good call, man.
Awesome, man. Good call. Thank you so much for calling, man. Don't be a stranger, man. Call back in, man. Call back in any show, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh yeah, most.
All right, let's go to 760. 760.
Oh, this is Brian, and he's got a lot to say. Hello, Brian.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Eric? Oh shit! Damn, that shit was crazy, man.
Wasn't that
oh
nuts?
My god, that shit was crazy. I'm still tripping on that shit. Like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Is he getting his ass beat? This motherfucker looking doofy and shit. That shit was crazy. I mean, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. You hear me, Andy Ruiz Jr. I'm sorry. I talked shit about you, said you was fat and all that. You got titties. I said he was a sumo wrestler. Oh, he made me eat my words. Oh, my God.
You made everybody eat their words.
Wow. Man, I should have put $100 on Andy Ruiz. Somebody
I could have retired tomorrow, put money on Andy
what
Ruiz.
I'm saying? Somebody came up. Wow. I mean, shit, man. Okay, so now the Wilder and, Anthony Joshua fight, that's gone. That's out the window.
Yeah,
I mean, even if they do build it back up, which they can, because look what happened with Pacquiao and Mayweather. They could build him back up. I don't think it's going to have the same value. What you guys think?
No. Beeb asked me last night if it's still a 50-50 fight. If I thought it was still a 50-50 fight, I said, this is, or if Joshua was like still the A side, I said, this is nowhere close to a 50-50 fight anymore. This is Wilder has now taken the A side status for sure.
Yeah, and not only that, Joshua cost himself millions last night.
He
well,
did.
you talk about somebody. What about Big Baby Miller? He cost himself a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, all this debating we've been doing about this A side, who's popular, because this all we've been debating about this whole time.
Yep.
That shit is over.
Nice.
Good. It's over.
I feel
You know
great
what I'm
right
saying? Now let's get all these other fights set up in the division, free up them belts. I don't mind seeing Wilder versus Ruiz. That's a good matchup. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too interested in Wilder and Ortiz again. I'm not too interested in that. You know, I don't even know why he signed that, man. He gotta be hurting right now, Wilder. That could have been him.
That's why I said earlier, why sign those contracts? You should have waited until after last night's fight was over with. You know.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. I mean, damn, he done fucked it up for me because I thought for sure I was gonna be the one to, you know, take that WWF belt Eric got over here on that bet.
Good luck,
you could have just shifted it to me, you know.
Eric's gonna get stripped anyways. Don't worry about it.
I guess I ain't getting that belt now.
Oh, we strip Eric. We'll vacate the title. We'll vacate the title.
I mean, the belt's out the window. I mean, shit. But, man, I mean, did you guys, Beeb, okay, because you know boxing. Okay, you know when you jab, the name of the game is trying to get my jab on the outside of your jab. You know that's the name of the game, right?
Yes.
I mean, why was AJ going to the opposite side and to his power? Like, why wasn't he using his reach? I mean, damn, he let me down. I mean, it's not, you know, I fuck with Wilder, but I like AJ. I hyped him up, too. I told everybody, I mean, most of these people this was their first time seeing AJ fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this guy, he'll give Wilder some problems. Wilder knocked him out, but check him out. And they said, oh, the dude getting his ass beat. Like, damn, what? Damn, what happened to this dude? And Eric, that dude quit, man. Oh, my God.
I disagree with
quit.
That. Beeb, did he quit?
He quit.
No.
Look, man.
I don't think he quit either. I think he was buzzed. I think he was just buzzed, man. I think he was buzzed the entire
time. You and I are the only people that aren't Joshua fans that think he did, that say he didn't. So the majority of people out there saying that he did.
But you got to be objective about it too. I mean, you've been punched in the face. You've been buzzed.
Yeah, I don't think.
No.
I mean,
it wasn't like look, it wasn't the moment when he walked to the corner and that was it. No, he looked like he was already like, man, send me back to the UK ASAP. I'm talking about the third round after he got dropped. He said, get me the fuck out of Dodge ASAP. Fuck New York. He probably ran up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Brian,
in the UK now.
Brian, let me say this though, Brian.
Yeah.
Let me say this though, Brian. His body language suggested that he was not overly enthusiastic about continuing. Let's just say that. To be fair. To be fair.
That's what I meant. That's what I mean right there.
Yeah.
It's like, man, where's your heart at right now, homie? What's going on?
His body shut down on him. His body
shut
down on him. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, damn. And then the way he had the big ass Kool-Aid smile after the face, on his face after the fight. Like, what is he happy about?
That was the strangest thing.
Is it something that I don't know?
He didn't want.
Yeah, he's happy.
He was happy to not have to be champion anymore, man.
I don't understand that. I don't really get that.
Oh yeah, it looked like that.
Hold my
tripping off of when he.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when he let him hold the belt.
That was the worst part.
Oh my God,
man.
Oh my God, man.
Him taking that picture with Drake that cursed himself.
Hey, you know when AJ did that, I said, oh, AJ's a killer. He's going to let him hold his belts and knock him out the next day. Like, dang, that's like a G right there. But, wow.
I never seen that in my life. I've never seen anybody do that in my life. Like that was the most bizarre shit I've ever seen, bro.
Right.
I've never seen that. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh man, I don't know what to say, man. I want AJ to come back. I like AJ, man. I hope he comes back. But what you guys think? He need another trainer or what? You think it was a trainer? You think?
Yes, I do.
I mean, what you think happened last night?
I thought they gave him real lackluster, instruction in that corner, and I think that he needs to fight a different way, man. I really do. After seeing what we saw last night,
Yeah,
seeing him getting ripped
I mean-
like that. Yeah, he's got. We've seen it like develop where he's got flaws. I mean, don't get me wrong. We see Wilder has tons of flaws too, but as he's stepping up his progress, man, we keep seeing these flaws, and they're the same flaws. You got to switch.
He gets
trainers,
tired.
Get you an American trainer or something.
He gets gassed out. He gets wobbled too easy. I mean, his knees was buckling like, oh man, he let me down last night. He let me down.
Yeah, man, I was shocked.
But hey, man, Ruiz came in there with some heart, man. You got what's his name, Stephen A. Smith, man. Man,
Yeah.
he got to kill all that, man, because Ruiz came in there about that business last night. I didn't think Ruiz was going to be serious like that because he's all talking like, and the belts look all shiny. He's all soft-spoken and shit.
Shaking
and
hands with
he
the other
said,
guy constantly.
I don't respect nobody. I don't respect nobody. And he was not playing. That dude went in there. He was on. Man, what an upset, man. What an upset. And I know that broke your heart, Eric, man.
Listen, man, I'm a big AJ fan, but like I said last night, if you watch a live cast, we're all rooting for Ruiz over here. And you can't help. I mean, you got to root for Ruiz, right? I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
How do you not?
Yeah.
That was awesome last night.
Oh, it was insane.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't got a chance to see our live cast or whatever from last night, definitely go watch it as we commentate on the fight. It's good.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's funny, especially the knockdown. Go to round 3 and 7. It's a blast, man.
Oh, I know you guys went nuts on that third round. I know you guys went nuts. Robbie, hold on. What Robbie, man? You ain't seen none of this, did you? You ain't even seen none of this, did you?
Nope.
Dang.
Well,
This is why I'm trying to give you tough love, Robert. This is why I'm trying to give you tough love, Robert.
I did watch the YouTube video today, so.
That's why I'm trying to give you tough love, Robert, because I don't want you to have to deal with this every
Robbie,
week.
Did you hear about it right after that AJ lost or what?
Oh yeah, no, I heard about it last night. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Come on, Robbie.
Yeah, dang.
Yep.
Man, it's crazy, man. I don't know where this heavyweight division is going to go now. But
it's wide open now. That's the good thing about it.
I like that, man, because it's got some excitement to it, man. It's definitely some excitement to it. But remember, I called a couple of weeks ago and I said with these fights, these fighters passing up these fights like this tomorrow ain't promised. These dudes making these big plans like, your plans is gone now. So that's it. I don't know where AJ gonna go from here, but hopefully he bounced back, man. Man, what a fight, man. But that's my call, you guys. Hey, thanks for having me,
see you later, Brian.
Good talking to you guys. All right.
Man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
Good stuff.
You know what, Eric? I just thought of something. Remember rumor we heard a couple of... No, seriously. Remember the rumor we heard a couple of weeks ago about the PBC being for sale? What do you think last night's fights did for the PBC's value now that they have all 4 heavyweight belts?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. Probably raise it, I would think. Beeb,
that's right.
Where are the best callers from?
O-H-I-O.
Ohio, you're on.
What's going on, Ohio?
What's good, guys? You already know, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, barely. You're real low.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's better.
A little bit better?
Yeah, much better.
What a fight. First of all, I want to address, not y'all, okay, but the people I've been hearing trying to compare this to Buster Douglas. Keep Ohio fighters out your name.
Yeah. No,
That's
this wasn't
still
Buster
the biggest
Douglas, son.
upset of all time. And on top of that, Andy didn't go through what Buster went through. Buster not only had to fight the killer Mike Tyson, who never showed any vulnerability until he fought Buster,
right?
But he lost his mother.
That's right.
Okay? He lost his mother, and
No
9 times out of 10, fighters who lose loved ones really don't perform that well in the ring. Let's talk about Danny Jacobs, who lost his first professional fight, got knocked out, and his grandmother. And people had that excuse. Oh, he only lost because his grandmother passed. Well, look at here. Buster did that. He beat Mike Tyson, and his mother passed.
why
So
it's
he
tight
had
in
to
town.
overcome way more than Annie. Congratulations to Annie. Okay? I'm happy for the Mexican fans. They deserve it. Mexican fans and fighters have been they're a big part of our sport. And it's like the boxing guys bless them. I'm happy for them. Okay? This fight last night, it changed my whole perspective of how I think of life now. It's like, I went to Instagram and deleted all the beautiful women with nice bodies, and I ended up going to the bar and picked up a girl who looked like Andy Ruiz. She's built like Andy Ruiz. I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go the opposite. I'm not going to eat. I dropped my weight. I'm not even lifting weights anymore. I'm going to keep my gut. It's might as well just keep my gut. Why else? I can still see the guy up with muscles. Dang. But it was a great upset. I didn't hear none of y'all really mention about his hand speed. God damn, Andy's got some great-ass hand speed.
He's got good footwork,
in
too.
the heavyweight division.
He's got really good footwork,
and
too.
His composure. I was just like, wow, he looked like the Gary Russell in the heavyweight division with his hand speed. I was just like, AJ was trying to cover up, and he was punching through the guard. I was just like, damn. I just don't, to be honest, I don't even know if Eddie should rematch that right now. He need a confident type of fight back in the UK. Let Andy, see, Al Heyman is smart. Let Andy go to Mexico or somewhere over by Texas or San Antonio. Give that man a showcase fight. He deserves it.
Yeah.
He's going to sell. He's going to sell. Mexican fans is going to follow that guy. They in the perfect position right now. Andy deserves a showcase fight. Give that man that. I don't know if I want to give him I heard you mention what's his name? Ballhead heavyweight. Yeah. I heard y'all. I don't think I wouldn't give him that fight yet. But it has to be somebody else.
The mandatory that's coming up would be Pulev.
Oh, really? That would be great. That would be good. But
I'd totally give him that fight.
I think if they do push for the rematch, I think Eddie Hunter will probably be slick enough to try to act like he's negotiating and it fail, and then they go, hey, we got to go this route, and then we'll come back and try to get the rematch. I just don't think it's smart for AJ to go back into a rematch with him. I do wish AJ the best, because I was lighting him up. But it was just the UK fans. I was lighting him up with the memes. And I think Eric knows what I'm talking about. He's seen that on my wall.
The best one, was it you? Did you have the one meme where it said he took his soul and you show like a quick little clip or whatever of him getting hit, and then his that little ghost meme just walks out of the ring?
That was funny. No, I didn't do that. I seen it on IG. I just posted it.
Oh,
I thought that
awesome.
was funny. But no, I respect AJ. It was his fans. Most of it was just the fans, and it's that's just how it is. I respect AJ. I think his sportsmanship won me over. To see how he took his defeat and didn't have no excuses when other people was trying to give excuses for him. He won me over. It's like, okay.
90 seconds.
You can try to bounce back. Right now, I just don't think that's smart for him to go back to fight Andy right into a rematch. I just don't.
Right.
But it was a great upset. It was. I didn't think Ruiz. I didn't think Andy can pull it off, but I was hoping he would. It's great. I heard you say earlier, Eric, it's great for the heavyweight division. It is.
Yeah.
That upset is great. I hear people say, oh, there's
60 seconds.
It's gone. But some of the same people talking about the big money fight gone were the same people telling Wilder to sign a $15 million flat. So guess what? That same, he can still get a $15 million flat for you guys who wanted to say, oh, where's your pen? Guess what? He can still get that AJ fight for $15 million, more than that, to probably about $30 or $40 million. But you got to remember, this loss is not going to hurt AJ. He's from the UK. The fans is going to follow. Mike Tyson got knocked out when he signed a contract to fight Holyfield. They were scheduled to fight in November, if y'all remember, when he took on Buster Douglas.
Yep.
That was already signed, to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That was still, he lost, but later on, a couple years later, that fight was still big. That still was a big fight.
10 seconds.
Versus, it was still, people were still interested. They didn't even, they weren't even thinking about Mike Tyson losing to Buster. So I know it can still happen. I still think that fight can, AJ has to perform though. But that fight can still get some little buzz. But I don't know if y'all mentioned, I'm about to get off, but did y'all hear Stephen A? Stephen A is a bear. So I'm like,
completely.
Did anybody hear Stephen A. Smith?
He's an idiot.
Oh my God, man.
He has no
He's
clue
just,
what
I
he's talking
don't
about.
know about that dude.
There's a guy in the media that absolutely knows nothing about boxing. He absolutely knows nothing about boxing.
I don't think he knows anything about anything.
Yeah, it's
no. He's one of the worst
crazy.
people on TV.
Yeah, he was making it like Andy was just a guy that they just found at a Subway place, and he just put him in the ring. And I think a lot of people like I said, they look at the action figure. AJ is the action figure we as kids want to grab when we in the store.
Yes.
We ain't gonna grab Andy. That's the truth. We're not gonna grab Andy. We're gonna grab this show. I mean, it just. But at the same time, I just think his muscle mass, he's big, he's fatiguing, he's tired. It's like he looked like a robot in the ring. It was so slow motion, and Andy looked like the Flash. Just. And I'm just like, this cannot. And I was gonna go to that fight in New York. I was like, I wanted to go and still support. I wanted to see AJ. I mean, how many times did you get to see AJ in America? So I was really debating on going in that, and I feel stupid now. So, but other than that, guys, that's my call. Ohio runs boxing all day, and I'll be talking to y'all soon, man.
All right, man. Thank you so much for the call. Catch Marcus Nall on Facebook and his Ohio Runs Boxing channel there. Go get it. His memes are amazing. He's got great stuff on there, so definitely go catch him. Funniest guy on Facebook, man. He really is. All right.
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
Georgie.
Hey, Georgie, what's up?
No energy tonight, people. They took it out of me, brother. What's happening, people? Yo.
Georgie with the bad connection from Rikers.
Man. Yo, what the fuck happened last night, people?
It's a boxing mafias. I think they put something in AJ's drink,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, the Mafia came in and took care of business.
That was Al Heyman who poisoned his water bottle. What the fuck happened there? What type of weird luck fucking voodoo shit is this, man? This shit isn't supposed to happen. But you know what? Fucking King is dead. God bless the new king. Mexico, Viva Mexico, Ruiz. I'm jumping on the wagon officially.
Oh, you can't.
Let fucking AJ rebuild. What else could be done? Nothing else can be done. Let that man rebuild. That's it. We gotta move along. Fuck it.
Jumped off the AJ train quick, huh?
He did.
Gotta leave it alone, baby. Listen, even in a rematch, the outcome's gonna be the same for what it seems.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it.
I mean, a rematch, what the fuck gonna do? Because the flows are there, the time, speed is so different. AJ's fast and just little spurts, and then he runs out of energy so quick. Another shit I gotta say, man, I always criticizing Pacquiao that he's juicing and shit, but AJ looks so fatigued that you wonder why. That doesn't make you wonder, guys.
He should start juicing if he's not. Because he was, start taking some EPO or something like
we
that.
know he
dude, 'cause
run out of
was
fucking
gassed.
gas.
He's too big.
He does run out of gas, eventually during the fight. But so early in the rounds, he really make you think, brother.
He's too big, man.
Hey, what the fuck, bro?
Too much muscle.
Too much Miami?
Yeah, that could be too.
The fuck that nigga was doing Miami?
Too many distractions.
Yeah.
Watching booty and fucking... Oh, my God. This shit was a fucking disaster, bro. Hopefully Ruiz... I don't know. Hopefully Ruiz fights Wilder. I just don't want to see him like... They're talking about giving him a showcase fight and this and that. But then all these belts gonna get fucking dissipated into fucking oblivion again. And by the time this shit start getting unified, we're gonna see what's gonna pass another 10 years. Baby, I don't got another 10 years on me. I don't have that long.
Honestly, I don't think we're gonna have to wait that long. I think we'll have a unified fight probably next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yo, imagine Fury and Ortiz.
That's a whitewash.
Could you imagine that?
It's a whitewash.
What do you mean?
And Tyson Fury would run in circles around Luis Ortiz.
That's so possible. Yo, but Ortiz IQ is real nice. Even that AJ looked like shit. AJ was throwing nothing but a fucking a jab, a right hand, and a left hook. That's all he threw a fucking night. Really predictable. Same bullshit combo. Same shit every round. Man, eventually anybody gonna catch up with your shit, brother. You can be throwing the same bullshit all night. Really disappointed. Yo, by the thing I checked, that Ruiz got over 150 amateur fights.
Yeah, I heard he was 105.
So he being around.
Yeah.
On them 5?
105 and 5. Very good amateur.
Yeah, 110 amateur fights.
And AJ only had, what, like 50, right?
Say what?
AJ only got like 50 fights.
I don't know. He was a bronze medalist, though. Or we was gold. Was he a gold?
Yeah, he did go to the Olympics. So
he's a gold medalist.
Yeah.
I know, but in the amateur, he didn't have that many fights, right?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
And Ruiz was on the fucking Olympic trials too, no?
Yes, for Mexico.
Yes, for Mexico.
Oh, okay. So I mean,
huh?
I think that experience, man. The IQ of Ruiz is just a lot higher. He will beat him every single fucking time, brother. Every time. And now that whole big fight between Wilder and AJ is gone. The mistake is gone. The value is gone. In a way, I'm glad, because, I mean, that's a tool that is being taken away from this goddamn mafia to manipulate people. So I'm sort of glad on that way. Sad for the UK, because, I mean, we lose somebody who can represent the sport, worldwide. And when AJ lost, boxing lost some, they lost some, boxing some appealing, because after Canelo was AJ representing the sport as a big star. So hopefully Canelo don't lose any day soon, man. We can have that shit back to back. Man, I'm heartbroken. I don't have a lot to say. This is fucking bullshit. Everybody out there, support this channel, donate, thumbs up. We gotta get a mixer. We need these goddamn donations. See you next week. I love you.
All right.
Keep right. Viva Mexico!
And any super chats that come in, we'll go to get Georgie a new phone at Rikers. So, he brought up a real good point in the sense that, like I said, I mean, what's next? I mean, honestly, like, what's next for Joshua? I mean, if he fights. I think it's going to be the same result. But what was funny? They interviewed Joshua after the fight, and he said, "Who do you want next?" And he says, "You know what? You know who I want next, but that fight isn't happening. So I guess if I have to rematch, I have to rematch." He was talking about Wilder. He's still talking about Wilder.
Yeah.
I was like, it was just kind of an odd thing to say.
I think the pressure of dealing with those negotiations, with Wilder and Fury. I think it put a lot of stress on all of them.
Yeah, I think so too. Incidentally, the event was sold out. 20,201 people attended the event. It was a sellout. Everybody in the chat that says X amount were comped, you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know, and nobody else knows either except the Department of Taxation and Eddie Hearn. Let's go to the undercard here real quick. We're going to run through these because we're on overtime. Callum Smith versus Hassan, and Dom Smith wins by TKO in round 3. He looked great in that fight. Katie Taylor wins a majority decision over Delphine. Is it Define or Delphine? I think it's Delphine. Delphine Pearson by the scores of 96-94 twice and 95-95. This was a very disputed decision. I thought Pearson won this fight, and I thought she won it by a couple rounds. Beeb, what were your thoughts on this?
I had her winning too.
I did too,
I thought she landed the more telling blows.
She definitely won this fight. So Chris Algieri looked pretty good over Tommy Coyle. Algieri wins by TKO over Coyle after Coyle's corner stopped the fight after the 8th round. Josh Kelly, another one of the Matchroom sensations, and Ray Robinson, they both battled to a draw. Scores were 96-95 for Kelly, 95-95 twice. So a draw. I thought that Ray Robinson got this fight. I thought he won this fight. I thought all 3 big Matchroom stars lost last night. Obviously, Joshua lost, period. Katie Taylor, I thought, lost. Josh Kelly, I thought, lost. Not a good night from Matchroom. Jonathan Buatsi versus Marco Antonio Parabon. How good did Buatsi look last night, man?
Sharp stop. It was a good stoppage.
Wow. He battered Parabon throughout the fight and ultimately TKO'd him in the 4th.
That was a great win.
Big-time win. Robert, did you watch Fox Sports?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts on Devin Alexander and Ivan Redkach? Redkach scored a 6-round TKO over Alexander. What were your thoughts on this?
I was absolutely shocked. I thought Devin Alexander would win, especially since he got Roy Jones as his trainer, and with the way Roy Jones was a fighter, I thought he could improve Alexander and make him even better than what he was. But Sugar Shane Mosley did a good job with Ivan Redkach and made him a completely different fighter. So I was definitely surprised by Redkach's performance. And Alexander, I think he's still good, but they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and let's see what Roy Jones can bring out of him if there's anything left to bring out of him.
Yeah, there you go. Hugo Centino Jr. versus Willie Monroe Jr., 10 rounds middleweights. Monroe wins a unanimous decision 98-92, 97-93, and 96-94. Exciting fight, Robert?
Yeah, and I thought Willie Monroe won 97-93. Willie Monroe did what Willie Monroe always does, and Hugo Centeno couldn't figure it out. I disagreed with the 96-94 and then 98-92. I thought 97-93 was the perfect score here.
There you go. Let's talk about the biggest fight of the weekend. All right. The biggest fight of the weekend took place in Thailand. Your man, Wanheng Menayothin, TBE, baby, versus Tatsuya Fukuhara. Wanheng Menayothin continues his streak of 53-0 and remains TBE after beating Tatsuya Fukuhara by technical decision. If you don't have Menayothin as your best pound-for-pound fighter ever, the best fighter to ever live, he's 53-0, then I think there's something wrong with you. Robert, are you excited about this? He's 53-0 TBE?
No, because I think the monster would... I think the monster would have fun with him. But
who do you
anyway,
think you are? Peeing all over Menayothin like that. Beeb, is he the best ever?
Anyway.
I think he's by far the best ever. They should build a shrine for him.
Robinson, better than Muhammad Ali. He's the man, right? Better than Floyd.
They should build a shrine for him.
If you were to take all those fighters and put them together, they still wouldn't match Menayothin, baby. 53-0 TBE. That's the criteria.
Baby.
Listen, that's the criteria we're grading on now. You're undefeated. You're the best fighter out. 53-0. He's better than Floyd. He's better than Floyd. I mean, you can't say otherwise now, right? He's the man now. He's the man. It is what it is. Listen, I can't stop the momentum anymore.
That's funny.
All right. Let's see here. Upcoming fights. What do we got? Give me 1 second here. All right, got the boxing schedule up here. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm coming, I promise. June 7th in Verona, New York. Is that a Friday, Robert?
That's Friday, yep.
All right, Zab Judah, your boy, versus Cletus Selden, 12 rounds, junior welterweights. I don't know if that'll be televised or not. James Buddy McGirt Jr. versus David Papat, 12 rounds middleweights. That's also on the card. And I think this will be televised, maybe online or something. I don't know, but there's no listing here. June 8th, Saturday in Reno, Nevada on ESPN. Oscar Valdez versus Jason Sanchez, 12 rounds for Valdez's WBO featherweight title. Gabe Flores versus Salvador Briciano, 8 rounds lightweights. There you go. And let's see if there's anything after this. No, not really. So the big fight of the weekend.
You got Madison Square Garden next Saturday, Eric, with Triple G.
Beeb, tell him, let me drive the car.
Let him flow, Robbie. Let me
flow.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
All right.
I'm doing this for quite a
Give
while.
you a timeout. Going to give you a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, June 8th in New York on DAZN. Robert, it's on DAZN.
Watching it, Robert?
What's the matter with you?
No.
Dude? What's the matter with you? He's boycotting DAZN, and that's okay.
That's his favorite fighter.
Triple G, baby. Gennady Golovkin versus your man, Steve Rolls. 12 rounds, super middleweights. Hey, Steve Rolls is undefeated. He's also 35. Ali Akhmedov versus Marcus McDaniel. 10 rounds, super middleweights. Brian Sabalo versus Bayatar Ayubov, 8 rounds welterweights. Charles Conwell on the card versus Courtney Pennington, 10 rounds junior middleweights. This is a little bit lacking. This was not the card we saw this weekend, that's for sure. But listen, I'm interested to see Golovkin versus Rolls. I think that's a good fight. Not really, but it's a fight, and I think Golovkin wins easy. Steve Rolls is undefeated. But Steve Rolls is like in 34, 35, and he's got like 20 fights or something like that. So, which leads me to believe he's not been as active as he should be.
The only thing interesting about this is we'll see what Jonathan Banks does with Triple G now as his new trainer.
I saw a lot of people calling for Jonathan Banks to train Anthony Joshua, and I don't know. Listen, man, I don't necessarily agree with that. They're thinking that Jonathan Banks is going to train him like Manny Stewart would have trained him, and I don't know that he will. Jonathan Banks is his own individual, so I'll be interested to see what he's done with Triple G. But Beeb, let me ask you this. At this stage of Triple G's career, is there really anything he can do with Triple G?
This is going to be interesting, this fight. Should this turn out to be a same type of fight as Vanis Martirosyan? Should this be a blowout?
Should.
But I don't know. I don't know at this stage if you could change Triple G. I don't think you can add too much to him right now. This guy's had a lot of fights, a lot of amateur fights. He's fought the same way for a long, long time. But he said he didn't want to change anything. He just wanted to kind of sharpen things up a little bit. So let me ask you this. Could just the fact that Triple G's in there with somebody new, could that invigorate him mentally? Could that light a fire underneath him? Maybe?
I think so. I think there could be that honeymoon period there. But ultimately, when it goes right back to, after that's over, I think that, he's going to go right back to that same place. I don't, again, I'll have to see him and see if he adds any wrinkles to his game or whatever, but I think he is who he is. I don't think there's much that Banks can do with him. I really don't. Not this far into his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you guys because he is 37 years old. He's fought the same way for a long time. I don't know what a new trainer does at this stage of his career. And, he's fighting a guy in Steve Rolls that's kind of unknown, Yeah, he's 19-0, but until he signed this fight, I never knew who Steve Rolls was. So,
yeah, I don't. He's Canadian. I don't know. I've never seen him. Yeah, I've never seen him. And it's not like, listen, man, anything can happen. I don't see it. I don't see Steve Rolls putting up that big of a fight. I don't even know that Steve Rolls gives him a bunch of rounds, to be honest with you. I think Golovkin goes in there within 6 rounds and takes him out of there. But it'll be interesting to see. And how much he gets hit.
I didn't like what I read today in the LA Times. Tom Loeffler is already looking ahead to Canelo in September, and they're already talking about, well, we don't want the fight in Vegas. We want it in Dallas or San Antonio or New York. We don't want to go to Vegas. And you're already negotiating in the media before you've got this fight taken care of.
Oh yeah.
If anybody learned anything from last night, it's just don't talk about future fights. Worry about what you've got in front of you. Because ask Anthony Joshua what he feels like today. You can't plan for the future. It's one day at a time.
Anthony Joshua was happy. He was laughing and smiling last night after he lost.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
Yeah, I don't either, but yeah, it is what it is. All right. So, yeah, I think that's the way the fight's going to go. I think Triple G beats him, and it depends on how he looks, I think. I mean, if he looks lackluster in this fight, I don't know that he gets September date. I don't know. Or if he takes a knockdown or something like that. I mean, he's got to look good against Steve Rolls to make that September date because, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many people are that excited about this fight. I know I'm not, but, who am I?
Well, and if I'm Canelo, do I really want to do this for a third time?
Right. All right, so let's go to the news and rumors just real quick. The biggest one, and that's all we'll touch on today, is Wilder confirms that Ortiz and Fury are next. Wilder has come out and said via social media, said that Louis Ortiz is his next fight and Fury is going to be the fight after. Now, the Fury fight is a little bit different now because he said that Fury's still got to get past Tom Schwartz, which, whatever. But he's got to get past Tom Schwartz. And then Fury said he wants to have another fight in the fall. So essentially, he's going to go through 2 fights before he gets to Wilder. So a lot can happen between now and that contract signing. I don't know what contract. Again, they don't invite me to the back room to look at the contracts, but I don't know, how they're going to make this really that binding. I mean, and my guess is it's contingent on both of them that keep winning, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't account for this weekend happening either. So I don't know that Fury fight is really that ironclad. I'm not 100% sure that Ortiz fight is that ironclad now. I don't know if that rematch is that ironclad. This is throwing a monkey wrench into everything, and you know what? I love it. So,
look, if I'm Deontay Wilder, I tell Luis Ortiz, look, you deserve a rematch, but I'm going to go after the big fish now. I'm going to go get that belt.
Something he's waited for a long time. But does he?
That's right.
He would be. Once if they match him against Ruiz and he beats Ruiz, he is considered the guy. No questions asked.
That's right.
Whether he has all the belts or not, he is considered the undisputed champion because you're looking at the guy who beat the guy. That's it,
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. That'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Robert on Twitter at Ringside Robert or call Ringside Robbie's Corner at
area code 773-572-7781. And because of computer issues that are going on the system where the phone system is, the podcast will not be there this week, but people have been leaving plenty of messages, and I've been updating the greeting, answering people's questions. So if you want to continue doing that, that's fine. The podcast should be back after next Sunday's show. and all the computer issues should be fixed.
All right, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1 and find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. On Twitter, I'm at ringside73, and we will see you next week.